formed in 1939 as the result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, a man called Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped that most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money. But instead of entering the league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. And it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil. And the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed, they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest football teams in Brazil. Now, they were global superstars, and despite not being professional, Corinthians drew in the crowds. Everybody wanted to play them, everybody wanted to watch them. So much so, they regularly played the winners of the FA Cup in what eventually became the Community Shield, winning most of the time. They actually inflicted Manchester United's worst defeat, 11-3, a record which still stands to this day. Now, fast forward to today, Corinthian Casuals still don't pay their staff or players. The ethos of sportsmanship is still at the heart of everything that they do. And even though they're a side in the lower leagues, if you make the trip to King George's Field in Tolworth just off the A3, you'll most likely bump into Brazilian Corinthians fans who often make the pilgrimage across the globe just to watch their founding team play.
A very good morning to you. 3 minutes past 6 o'clock, Monday, July the 20th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. And so Spain win the World Cup and save us all from the shameless, classless thugs of Argentina lifting the trophy. I backed Argentina big time before the tournament, but I was cheering every Spaniard as they collected their medals. I'm Jeff Stelling, alongside me, former England striker, Gabby Agbonlahor. Gabby, well done to Spain. Argentina were an absolute disgrace.
Yes, last night, I felt like I won last night watching. I felt like football was the winner. Anti-football lost. Shame that Messi's probably last World Cup game was a game where his team didn't try and play football. Disgraceful tactics that have worked all through the World Cup. They've bullied teams, and last night they tried to bully Spain and it didn't work. Finally, a referee who decided to give a few bookings. Could he give a lot more?
Oh, well, how was Paredes still on?
Especially to Paredes and other players, but at least he gave that second yellow card to Enzo Fernandez, who deserved to get sent off. Football's the winner once again, which is what we wanted to see in the Champions League, football being the winner, and also in the World Cup.
Yeah, that Enzo Fernandez. I've never met him. He must be a lovely bloke, mustn't he? After the England game, when he said he likes the English because everyone who cleans and cooks at his house is English.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
It's breathtakingly arrogant to say the least. You know, I think he'll get a pretty hot reception at English football.
Every game
next season.
Every game. Just his character, his celebrations. I see social media last night was absolutely buzzing. Spain winning, Enzo getting sent off was the perfect end to the World Cup.
Yeah, and I have to say that, look, I mean, Spain should have put them to the sword much sooner, but they don't have a focal point up front, do they? They don't have an out-and-out striker as such.
Yeah, I mean, if they had the old strikers that they had, like David Villa, he would have scored a lot of those chances. But some of the football they played yesterday, Spain, against a team that just wanted to sit back and try and nick a set piece, I thought they were fantastic at times. The one-touch passing, the 1-2s that they were doing. And finally, Ferran Torres, great finish as well, Jeff, because when you watch it back, it looks like he smashes it at first, but he doesn't. It's a guide, it's a side foot into the top corner of the net. And I just think that was coming. I was happy because I thought to myself, please don't let Argentina get to penalties and win this on penalties. It was the most anti-football you'd ever see in a final. Didn't get a shot until the second half of extra time, Jeff?
Yeah.
Only 2 shots, 0 on target.
Yeah.
I think the XG that we don't even like talking about was 0.17. It was embarrassing at times.
Well, you know, in comparison, I mean, Cape Verde had 6 attempts against Spain in 90 minutes, you know, and Argentina couldn't muster a single one. And credit to the coach, by the way, as well, Luis de la Fuente.
Oh, yes.
You know, and look, okay, he's got an embarrassment of riches, but the fact is the winning goal comes when Williams, who he's put on as a substitute, knocks it back for Torres, who is a substitute as well.
But positive subs.
Oh,
you know, Laporta and Rodri taking them off. I mean, Rodri would have thought, I would have been a penalty taker. But the manager's thinking, this ain't going to penalties.
Yeah.
They're there for the taking. They're holding on. They're trying to bully us. Football was the winner again. So happy for Spain.
Yeah. And you mentioned Ferran Torres. After the game, well, of course, he was the match winner, but he was virtually speechless at being his country's hero.
Honestly, I can't believe it. I just try to enjoy, but I don't know what's happening. Honestly, I didn't think too much. I just saw the ball coming to me, and I just shoot with the power of all the Spanish people.
Yeah, Spain. You look at the run they had to the final as well. It was a nightmare in terms of the teams they had to play along the way. Portugal and Belgium and France, of course, and then Argentina. So they've done it the hard way.
And what I love about them, Jeff, is you can tell they're a team. You can tell everybody knows where they're meant to be. You can tell that everyone makes an option when you get the ball. You know, you watch some of the World Cup, Jeff, and you see some players are hiding. If Rodri receives it, he knows Daniel Olmo's going to want it. Yamal might come short and switch himself in behind. Also, the 2 centre-halves, at all times, they're spare players. How good was Kabasi? 19 years of age. Laporte as well. You know, fantastic. Pedro Porro, Cucurella.
That back four, you thought if they're going to be vulnerable, that's where they're going to be vulnerable. But they conceded 1 goal in the entire tournament, you know, and as you said, Porro and Cucurella, both fantastic.
And even big decisions as well, Jeff. We talk about managers and on the big stage, and this manager's done it. Pedri, no one thought that Pedri would have got dropped for the last 3 games. It's no problem because he's on at 55, 60. Everyone's together. Even players that have been dropped, they're not sulking. They come on, they make a statement. Fabian Ruiz has been very good this tournament. Pedri comes on, almost there. Other players are coming on. So I think it was a fantastic tournament for Spain, and it's basically set the blueprint of like how to play football. That's the football you want to see. People say it's boring, but it's a pleasure to watch when you understand football.
Well, look, I think there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. It certainly wasn't the Argentinian way. As far as Messi is concerned, do you think that should be it?
I think it is it. I think if they'd won it, Jeff, I think he might have tried to maybe see how he goes for another Copa America, see how he went for the next World Cup. But to lose like that, and a lot of the players in that side are getting a bit older. A lot of them looked off it in that final. I think then Messi retires in the coming weeks, I do.
Yeah.
His tears as well at the end when he's looking at the crowd. I feel like, I think he knows himself. And he looked tired, didn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, well, he was such a peripheral figure.
Yeah.
You know, when the point was made frequently in the commentary, you know, once Fernandes had been off, they were down to 10 men, but effectively it was 9 men.
Yeah, you couldn't take him off.
Because, and you know, we talked about the fact that Roberto Martinez is unwilling to take off Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, the same thing applies, even more so to Scaloni and Messi.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm thinking, sitting there thinking he's contributing zero. If it was anybody else, he would be off the pitch.
Yeah.
But then Scaloni would never, ever be allowed to travel back to Argentina.
Exactly. He knew that, like, he's never going to take Messi off in his last appearance, especially what he's done for that country as well. But you're right, all through the game, Jeff, and that's probably I'd love to know the distance he covered, because he looked like that was not the worst game, but the game that he's walked the most in. When I was watching him, he wasn't doing a lot, and I'm thinking, is he saving himself? Second half, he's still not moving a lot. But then you have to look at it and say, he's 39. He looks shattered. And maybe that, at the end of the game, his tears, he looks at it and says, you know what, I tried to get another one, but now it's time for Argentina to rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, look, for my money, the greatest player that I've seen in my lifetime, for sure. Yeah. And I don't want to see him deteriorate, come back for other tournaments now. I
probably see it to Miami, can't you, for another season, Jeff? 2 at most, because of the standard over there, and then retires maybe 40, 41, I can imagine.
Yeah. Do we have to do this? Okay, Donald Trump.
Oh, no.
Couldn't help making himself front and centre of proceedings. He labelled this year's tournament, and of course he knows everything, doesn't he, as one of the greatest we've ever seen. He's never seen any others.
There has never been anything like it, probably in terms of an event, let alone soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. But I thought it was incredible. It was 4 times greater than any FIFA ever held. And it's probably about 5 times, actually, they're telling me today. So we're very proud of our country. We're very proud of the job that was done by everybody. We congratulate Johnny Infantino and all of his staff and the incredible job they did. But this was one of the greatest events of any kind ever held. So we're really happy that it did so well. And all over the world, people have come and they've loved our country. You know, it's shown off our country in a different light.
Johnny, Fernandez and Paredes, they should form a band, the Not So Fab Four.
Oh, made me laugh, Jeff. Was Infantino running around him like a little groupie? It was like, Donald, okay, there's the World Cup, and you bring it over, and you can stand there, and you can stay in the picture when they're lifting it. It was like, honestly, it was embarrassing from FIFA. And that's one of the letdowns from this World Cup. I've loved the World Cup, but FIFA have been a disgrace. And there's a lot of people that feel the same way about them.
Yeah.
Infantino, disgrace.
I've loved parts of the World Cup. There's a lot of things that I haven't loved about it.
Yeah.
You know, from, people getting involved in the Balogun red card, to the ticket prices.
Iran.
To the hydration breakers, to the treatment of the Iranians, who I get are at war with the Americans.
Referee not being able to come to the World Cup and referee.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So when he says it's been 4 or 5 times the best event ever, just goes to show, he knows zero about football.
Yes,
I won't comment on what he knows about anything else, but he knows zero about football. So,
do you know what else is nice, Jeff? They don't have to see the camera go to the celebs. It's like, there's Will Ferrell, and there's Kylie Jenner, and there's Beyonce, and no one cares. Really don't care, guys. Just let us watch. I'd rather see the players, Jeff, getting a drink.
Yeah.
Than see the celebs. Very boring.
Yeah. But well done to Spain. Absolutely brilliant from their perspective. And they lift the trophy. European champions, world champions as well. And, of course, they'll defend the trophy on their own patch.
How do you stop them,
in
Jeff?
2030.
A young squad of players, a manager who knows them from youth teams. How do you stop them? Players they left at home. They left Real Madrid centre-half house and at home, Jeff. That's how good they are.
Yeah. My only thought is that maybe people will learn how to play against them. I mean, one thing you found is through Argentina, you cannot kick them off the park.
No. What I loved is, Jeff, they didn't get involved. Laporte said it before the game. We won't get involved. We don't want to see. We want to be protected by the referee for fouls. And Enzo Fernandez, honestly, Jeff, like this guy, Paredes, like how did he get away foul after foul? 7 yellows I counted. Even after the full-time whistle, he's grabbing Garcia by the neck. He's throwing punches. Messi sat down for probably thinking, like, I'd rather see my team fight by keeping the ball, not throwing punches.
Paredes, I mean, Fernandez has just been sent off.
I know.
And then he hacks down Dani Olmo on the edge of the box. It has to be a second yellow card. But the referee, I thought did okay, but he bottled that quite clearly.
It's funny how they wanted to bully themselves into winning a World Cup. Embarrassing. Football won, thank God.
Fans, we want to hear from you. What did you make of the World Cup? Do you agree with Donald Trump? Was it a great event? Give us a call, 03717 223344. Let us know what you're thinking this morning. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the back pages and the fitness of a certain Bukayo Saka. We've been talking all morning about Thomas Tuchel. We've been talking all week about him and the fact that he's questioned England's DNA, whatever that may be. He said, I think ball possession plays a crucial role. It's maybe not in our DNA as it is in the Spanish or Brazilian or Argentinian DNA. To take the ball and control the game and the ball, which is a big problem. What do you make of that, Ben?
Watching the Spain game the other night against France, that's how you keep the ball. And I think it...
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is with me. How much are you looking forward to seeing Shakira in 2030?
I know, it's incredible, isn't she?
She'll only be 53 by then.
She's basically more World Cup finals than her ex, isn't she, PK? Yeah.
And she was more involved than Messi, wasn't she?
I know, dearie me.
Dom, who's a Rangers supporter in Cornwall, says the World Cup was 7.64 times the worst he's ever seen. He said, even as a Scotsman, I'd wanted the English to pump Argentina. Kev from Tipton says, what did you think of Messi stooping low to try and get Cucurella sent off?
That was desperate.
Look, he's one of my sporting heroes, and I was embarrassed to see him do
desperate
that.
measures.
Absolutely awful. Dean says, thank God that rubbish is over. Let's get back to the greatest sporting entity in the world, the English football pyramid. Paul says, morning Jeff, morning Gabs. Viva España, now back to the bread and butter football. He says he's a Man United fan. He wanted to thank Gabby for Yuri Tielemans. I don't think Gabby had anything personally to do with that. And Jill says, morning Jeff, Gabby, Argentina were a disgrace, as was the half-time show. It's very nearly 6:20. Time for a look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Score a quality morning coffee for the day ahead.
And Laura Kirk-Francis is with us. Hi, Laura.
Morning, Laura Kirk-Francis.
Morning. It's over. It's all over. And I think football won. On the back page, though, we'll start away from football because, believe it or not, other sport did happen yesterday. The Sun calls out Ryan Fox's incredible victory at the Open. Ryan's kiwi fruit, particularly his brilliant 18th hole birdie, unbelievable approach shot, and then a putt. Fox himself said his hands were all over the place. He moved quite quickly between shots, quite keen to get it over and done with. The Times says Fox holds his nerve to land first major in finale to cherish. In Formula One, Hamilton collides with Russell in a crash in the opening lap in a Grand Prix that was won by Kimi Antonelli, who has now doubled his lead at the top of the Formula One standing. So it looks like that particular Formula One season will be close. But back to England in particular. Jeff, Harry Kane has said that fans are right to feel angry, but that we want to get it right on the biggest occasion, and Thomas Tuchel expects that from himself as well. I don't know whether we could call it a big occasion on Saturday night, but...
Oh, Soccer Aid. It was a glorified Soccer Aid. You know, anybody who thinks that was an important game seriously needs to take a good look at themselves. You know, look, the only time we got really interested in it, and most football fans got interested in it, is when we're 2-3, 4-0 up. If we'd been 2-3, 4-0 down, we'd all been sitting there saying, it's a Mickey Mouse game. You know, 3rd and 4th place playoff shouldn't happen. Bring the boys home. But because we won it, suddenly there's a huge amount of enthusiasm about it. You don't think
we can take anything from it,
No.
Jeff? Nothing at all.
Nothing.
No.
All we can take from it, and I'm sure you're going to come onto it, is why the heck Bukayo Saka wasn't involved against Argentina. We all thought he was not fit. He says he was fit and he wanted to play more. He looked fit as well, but he was ignored by the tactical genius that is Thomas Tuchel.
That game made me more angry.
Did it? Because
and
of
last
Saka,
night made me more angry.
What about last night made you angry? Do you think England could have put on a better show?
Yeah, last night made me more angry because Argentina had nothing and Spain knew that. And look at their tactics, Spain. Argentina couldn't get out. They had 0. But we let Argentina come on to us by parking the bus. Honestly, like, Thomas Tuchel's tactics, I've seen so many different takes since the game. And I had to ask, like, everyone I know, am I going crazy? And they're like, no, you're spot on. Thomas Tuchel's tactics were a disgrace. And then he starts Declan Rice and he starts 2-10s in Eze and Rodgers. Oh, so now you go attacking when it doesn't matter. Thank you, Thomas, for that. Saka looked fantastic. Didn't look injured. Why didn't he play a minute? I'm trying to protect him. No, you got your tactics wrong. Own up. Fans aren't daft. And from the fact that he got booed when it showed him on the screen was perfect, and I loved it.
Yeah, I mean,
fans aren't daft.
In the same Harry Kane interview, he's talking about Tuchel and he's talking about his enthusiasm and the tactical experience he has. Well, why didn't he show any of that? He looked like a rabbit in the headlights.
Do you think it would have been better if Tuchel had said after that Wednesday game, I got it wrong?
Yes.
Do you think? Because I think as fans, we want a little bit of acknowledgement. Yeah. Would you forgive him then, Gabby?
Yes, honestly, I would. I'd say, you know what? He's never been in a tournament, in an international tournament before. You know what? He froze, he got scared, he went defensive, he got his tactics wrong, apologised to the fans. We'll forgive. Everyone will forgive when people apologise. But the fact that he's saying that, like, it's our best finish in 66, get lost.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I don't want to hear that. France, the first half, they were on the beach.
They absolutely were.
And when they got told off at half-time, probably, and a few changes, second half, all over us.
And the best finish in 66 doesn't matter a jot.
Exactly.
But nobody counts 3rd and 4th place playoffs right through that many years. Can you remember? Do you remember who won the 3rd place playoff last time round?
No.
It was Croatia, as it happens. You know, and we've gone from being runners-up in the European Championships to a 3rd place finish,
you see the problem
if you like, in the World Cup.
Law as well, with like some people and some pundits out there who talk absolute garbage. They'll look at his record, Thomas Tuchel, and they'll say, well, 22 matches, 17 wins, only drawn 2 and only lost 3. Like, what's the problem? And we finished 3rd and you deserve the tournament. Shut up. All the teams that we've played, we should have won. Never mind lose any of them. When it mattered, we all hammered Gareth Southgate that he's defensive and he got scared. Thomas Tuchel got frightened and the wrong tactics, and all the players will be thinking it. Jude Bellingham, record 7 goals. An Englishman has never scored more in a World Cup. He'll be going home thinking like, Gaffer killed us. Gaffer killed us. That's what he was saying. And his Brummie accent, Gaffer killed us. Gaffer killed us. Because he did.
Bring on Euro 2028 is what I say. Let's look ahead, shall we? Maybe not.
No words.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
No words.
Yeah.
I'm still angry.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mike says Spain saved football, but football didn't win. Football was assaulted in its own home with an Argentinian baseball bat, sponsored by FIFA or Louis Vuitton, one of the two.
What do you think, Laura, though? Because like of that performance and Thomas Tuchel's tactics,
I think it is a capitulation of the highest order in a very, very good opportunity to. It didn't have to be like that. I think is my answer. I don't think we would have won the final. I don't think we need to crash out like that. That'd be my summary.
Look at Nico Williams last night, causing havoc when you come on. Positive subs, pace.
Caused havoc to his own side at times, actually, as well, didn't he?
But it was a massive threat in behind. They couldn't handle him.
Yeah.
We had Rashford available. Look at Eze's performance against France. Look at Saka, ball carriers. We decided to bring on 3 defenders, and that can't be forgiven, and it won't be forgotten. It won't be.
Brilliant. Laura, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you, Laura.
And that was thanks to Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Score a quality morning coffee for the day ahead.
Carl in Derbyshire says, sorry guys, I love the World Cup being in America. They already had all wonderful facilities in place and the people were very welcoming. The USA's grasp on football may not be the best, but they've proven to be the perfect hosts. And Carl, there's no need to be sorry about the fact that you enjoyed it, mate. I'm very glad you did. But the cost of getting into the games, the cost of travel there, the cost of accommodation, so on and so forth, took it out of the reach of many football fans' hands.
Talk to me about when the World Cup come out, though, Jeff, and it was in a Louis Vuitton case.
I know.
And they announced it, and this is a Louis Vuitton blah, 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 blah case. I was like, wow, this is where we're going.
Let's get some reaction then on the phone lines. How have you viewed this World Cup? 03717 223344 is the number to call. John is a Liverpool fan. Morning, John.
Morning, John.
Morning, gents. You okay?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, mate. What about you?
Thank God it's over. This year's World Cup has been sponsored by cronyism. It's been absolutely pathetic. When you look at the history of the World Cup, it was brought in just after World War I to bring countries together. And when you look at how fans and some of the teams have been treated, such as Iran, it's been an absolute disgrace. And for me, it should highlight people looking at pulling away from FIFA. And it'll probably rock the boat and there'll be all kind of lawsuits, but it's only going to get worse. I remember sitting on the terraces at Mansfield back in the early 90s reading a book at how they were going to steal football from us. And it's happened, and it's going to continue to happen unless we do something about it.
Yeah. It's very difficult to take in the shots of the self-satisfied Johnny Infantino, isn't it? Honestly. You know, every time the camera pan. I mean,
such a cringe.
And he is everywhere. I think there's more than one of him, you know, because he's in every single shot, isn't he? Yeah, sponsored by cronyism. It's a brilliant line, John. Thank you very much indeed for that. Graham says, no offence, he says, when you discuss Tuchel, at an international level, players need to take responsibility, especially for 12% possession in the last 30 minutes. That's not a management decision. It's England players not being as sophisticated as our European counterparts. That's from Graham and Marlow. I couldn't disagree more. I don't think it was down to the players at all. I think that was entirely a decision from the
Can the players
coach.
do better, Jeff, at keeping the ball? Can the players push up a little bit? Yes, they can. But when a manager changes the formation, naturally, look at last night. When did the goal come? When Argentina went to a back five. Went to a back five, and then obviously Simeone's injured. He can't track Torres. Everyone comes back to the goal, and no one's picking up the players on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
The formation killed us. The subs killed us.
Joshy, Manchester United fan. Morning, Jeff. You're spot on about FIFA, Trump, Infantino, but lighten up about the razzmatazz. You know what, Josh? I haven't mentioned it. I haven't mentioned it once. If the game was that bad, we deserve something fun. And Madonna, BTS, and Bieber was that. Let's have some of that in the Premier League. Joshy, you're winding us up. You're winding us up at 6:29 on a Monday morning.
You know what's worse? The worst thing about the halftime show was that, come on, Ronaldinho, come on, Ronaldo, two of the greatest ever players to play the game. Don't go out like that.
Yeah.
They were wearing tracksuits from like the 70s. I don't know what they were wearing. Come on, R9, don't go out like that. You look like a clown.
Look, it was extremely slick. but it still took 27 minutes. Coming up, we'll continue to take your calls, 03717 223344, and whether you've enjoyed this World Cup. But next up, it's all about the incredible Open champion Ryan Fox.
Who would have even dreamt that 6-4 would be the scoreline in
a madness?
The third and fourth place game.
A 10-goal quote-unquote thriller, an absolute candy floss
And you see
of a
the
game of
chances
football.
that were missed as well.
Oh, I watched it live last night and I went back over. My notes from when I'm watching a game are often an absolute madness when I read back over them. And I'm like,
Are you on little bits of paper or is it a big sheet?
No, I actually, weirdly, I WhatsApp them to myself. So I write them in my phone as I'm watching and as there's breaks in play, etc. And one of the things I wrote is England could have scored 6 in the first half. France could have scored 9 in the second half.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a absolute madness of a game of football. But is it one you take in any way seriously?
Well, it's hard to... Could you imagine that game and that result being in the tournament?
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
Yeah, good morning to you. 6:34, Monday, July the 20th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor, and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. So another World Cup in the history books. Spain win for the second time. What do the fans make of it? 03717223344 is the number to call to have your say. Andy is a Plymouth Argyle fan. Morning, Andy.
Good morning, Andy.
Morning. What a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace. I sat down last night, I thought, I'm going to see two teams who deserve to be here. Argentina shouldn't have been in the top 10. And then start physically fighting after the game. And I thought, that shows the mentality of Argentina. They should be banned from the next World Cup. They should be fined $20 million and say, look, this is a spectacle that we're trying to promote as a business, and you're going forward. You're showing us crap games like this. You're physically fighting each other. I just don't get it. You know, it's like watching a rugby match in the 70s. It was it's not what I expected from the 2026 World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was around in 1966, and Sir Alf Ramsey called the Argentinians famously, I quote, animals. I wouldn't go as far as that, but, you know, for goodness sake. Look,
they have been, though, Jeff. I mean, I saw the 66 World Cup. They are even bad then. They've gone all the way through. Everybody keeps mollycoddling the Argentinians. They should have had about 7 or 8 yellow cards against England and got away with absolutely one. Think, sorry, guys, you're not even promoting football anymore.
Yeah, last night, even like off the ball as well. Montiel at right back, he was like giving fouls off the ball. They were dirty. And then thank God that it didn't work last night.
Yeah. Andy, thanks very much indeed. I imagine a lot of people are in complete agreement with you. Now let's talk some golf. A new name on the Open Trophy, and it was live on talkSPORT 2.
Yes, he has done it! Ryan Fox birdies the last, and he wins the 154th Open at Royal Birkdale.
New Zealand's Ryan Fox had been 7 shots off the lead at the end of the first round of Saturday. He then shot a 62, joint lowest round in men's major history. And ranked 56 before the tournament, is the lowest ranked Open winner since Darren Clarke in 2011. It was a fantastic final round, I have to say, and I loved the way that he attacked every single shot. There was no question of playing it safe. And you know, the thing about this was as well that, like the football, Argentina were the villains of the piece there. There was a villain of the piece as well in the Open Golf, and that was Bryson DeChambeau. Yes. But he did it with a bit of a smile on his face in the end. You know, he posed for all
a few people, hasn't he?
Afterwards. He wound people up. You know, he's the sort of character that a sport can cope with and can actually enhance it, unlike the Argentine footballers. Look, that's just my opinion. And I think Ryan Fox, as the Europeans fell away, very popular winner indeed. But let's find out if someone who spent the whole weekend at Royal Birkdale agrees with that. It's the talkSPORT golf correspondent, Rupert Bell. Morning, Rupert.
Morning, Rupert.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby. Yes, a decent final day of something rather than that dross of the World Cup final.
Yeah.
We had real sporting drama. So last few Opens have sometimes been a bit predictable. Someone sort of run away with it. But this was decided at the very last moment. An extraordinary moment. 39 years of age. He's a sort of the classic case of the late developer. He didn't turn pro until he was 25. He has a terrific sporting heritage. His father was Grant Fox, who helped New Zealand win the first World Cup back in 1987. His grandfather was a very renowned New Zealand cricketer, so the sporting heritage. But he didn't really turn to golf till the late teens, and then, as I say, didn't turn pro to 25, has worked his way up, and he grabbed his moment in the most spectacular fashion, because that 18th had seen Cameron Young on cruise control on a magnificent round, had a chance of getting if he'd got a birdie, a 62 too, but unfortunately, he drops a shot there. And that ultimately cost him. And he said so. He said, I'd rather be at 10 under par, because Grant Fox grabbed his moment, drove it magnificently down that 18th. He then hit the most wonderful 9-iron to just over 11 feet. And then, without taking any time, just walked up to his putt and holed it. And suddenly, his world has changed. Only becomes the second New Zealand winner of the Claret Jug. The first was the legendary player Sir Bob Charles back in 1963. Even you and I, Jeff, may not possibly remember that. But he was a great player. We might have seen him play, but I don't think we remember him winning the Open back in 1963.
Rupert, in your many years on planet Earth, you've been to many Opens. Where does this one rank, mate?
I think in terms of drama, in the end, it's right up there because it was decided with the last moment. There's nothing worse than sometimes when you see a player just run away with it. But this was proper sporting drama. Just thinking, it's been playoffs. We've seen drama at various stages, but I like the sort of unheralded aspect of this story. Someone like Ryan Fox, who's just proved by dedication and hard work that, yes, you can achieve the ultimate. And to actually do that under that kind of pressure. He talked about his knees wobbling and feeling like jelly. But my goodness me, did he compose himself when it really mattered? So for me, it was amazing. And the crowds, record crowds, over 300,000 people at the week here, shows the Open is in very good heart. Yes, we had that soap opera with Bryson DeChambeau, and I'm in the, call me an old fuddy-duddy, but I think the RNA got it right. And actually a lot of other players think they got it right. Even Scotty Scheffler saying we need to police our game more in terms of making sure people adhere to the rules. And his hissy fit on Friday night when he held up everybody's tee times and kept the course open till late. Rory was right. He does like being the centre of attention. Yes, he's Marmite figure. He's a brilliant player, but yesterday he ran out of steam. And I think the biggest sigh of relief was from the RNA that they didn't have to hand him the claret jug yesterday.
Oh, yeah, no question about that. Ryan Fox, by the way, I saw him after that 62. Being interviewed, I think it was Sarah Sturck, and came over fantastically well. She was asking him why, he never won a major. And he said, I always just happened to throw in one bad round. Well, he didn't this time round. As far as the Europeans were concerned, really disappointing, ultimately, wasn't it, Rupert? Look, I know that Tommy Fleetwood ultimately finished fourth. I felt he was never quite absolutely at the peak of his game. He never really threatened to win it.
No, and that was the thing. There was a brief moment, I must admit, in that final round where he suddenly got to 8 under and you thought, hello here. But unfortunately, he then had a couple of back-to-back bogeys and that really set him back. And then in the end, he finished, fair play to him, birdie, tied for fourth. But at no stage of the week you ever thought, right, he's in here. Yes, he was roared on by the most amazing crowds, and the affection for him was there for all to see, the local hero. But as you quite rightly say, he never looked like he was going to get his hands on the claret jug. They're starting to slip away from him, the opportunities, and he may join that list of other great British players never to win a major, like Lee Westwood, sadly, Luke Donald, Colin Montgomery, who've achieved so much in the game, but ultimately haven't found a way to win one of the big four.
Yeah, and Rory looked like he'd been taking putting lessons from me. Rupert, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Rupert.
No problem. Thank you.
talkSPORT's golf correspondent Rupert Bell there. Now, still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
We'll continue to take your calls on what you thought of Argentina last night and the World Cup as a whole. 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say on whether it was a World Cup to remember. Up next, though, we'll turn our attention to the news that Chelsea have hijacked Morgan Rogers' move to Arsenal. I bet he's looking forward to playing with Enzo Fernandez, eh? Gabby can't wait to have his say on that. And that was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
I wonder whether he went back, muscle memory, whether he's gone back to what happened against Mexico, where we dealt with 5 at the back and they threw things at... But this ain't Mexico.
There's 20 minutes left.
It's
20 minutes of normal time, Jace.
It's more than that.
And we had a man sent off against Mexico. You could almost accept it.
I know.
You're playing against Argentina.
Yeah.
You can't sit off for 25 minutes against Argentina.
No.
He absolutely bottled it. Thomas Tuchel's cost us the World Cup. He cost us the World Cup. We're 1-0 up. Played well first half.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning. It's 6:47 now, in fact. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Headlines this morning: Spain victorious over Argentina in the World Cup last night. They're unbeaten in their past 38 matches in all competitions, longest run by any European team in history. Fabian Ruiz, by the way, 50 caps he's got for Spain, got his 50th last night. He's never been on the losing side. Absolutely amazing. After the defeat, Argentina manager Lionel Scaloni left his post-match news conference in tears when talking about his future. He had a bit of dignity afterwards, but he has to take responsibility as well for the way that his team played.
No, sorry, carry on.
So, no, go on.
No, they had nothing to get out, did they?
No.
They had no get out ball, no pace. They tried Gonzalez on the left.
Yeah.
He didn't get anything out of Porro. Yeah, terrible performance.
Yeah, it really was. And if you missed it, some interesting scenes as Spain lifted the World Cup. Adrian Durham and Stuart Pearce were there for talkSPORT.
Those scenes on the stage there were extraordinary, with Gianni Infantino having to run across the stage just before Rodri lifted the World Cup to try to get Donald Trump out of the picture, but he wouldn't go. He wanted to stay on the right-hand side as we were looking, and he did. He's in the team photo. Did all this with Chelsea last year at the Club World Cup, didn't he? What's really interesting here is there is political beef between Spain and the USA, so one wonders how Donald Trump, who maybe is a bit of a fan of Lionel Messi, possibly, you could say, how he felt having to shake all those Spanish hands and to share the stage with the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez.
Yeah, Donald Trump, well, that's a surprise that he wants to be, centre stage in that World Cup presentation to Spain. Look, a lot of credit to the Spaniards. I thought they kept their heads, apart from anything else, really well under the extreme provocation that they suffered right throughout the 100 and...
Even after the game, Otamendi was having a go at Rodri, and Rodri just saying to him, like, I don't understand what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Like, sore losers to the highest.
Well, didn't they all... I mean, I'll be brutally honest. The second the game finished, I turned the TV off. I didn't want to see Johnny and Donny presenting the trophies. Thank you very much indeed. But didn't the Argentinians turn their back on the Spanish players as they received the trophy?
Their own fans, yeah.
I mean,
classless.
That is pitiful, petty, childish. Right, Laura Kirk-Francis is back with us to talk about this man.
Rodgers finds space and finds the corner. That is a brilliant set-piece goal from Aston Villa.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hello. Pity, petty, childish. Gabby Agbonlahor, are you ready for your take on Morgan Rodgers to Chelsea? So this is a record-breaking fee in 3 ways. A new transfer record for an England player. It's $1 million above what Elliot Anderson has gone for. The most expensive signing for Chelsea in their history. Next one being Enzo Fernandez, 107 million back in 2023. It also means that Middlesbrough will earn £20 million due to a sell-on clause, which is thought to be the largest transfer fee sell-on ever. Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, Gabby, 21 goals and 85 league appearances. It looks like he was going to Arsenal. I was getting quite excited, and then Chelsea have come in what feels like the last minute and hijacked this deal. Good business for Aston Villa, though.
Very good business for Aston Villa, but sometimes, like, you can lose a player and the money, what are you going to do with it? Do you know who you're going to bring in? They've already brought in Manzambi, Gomez as well from Wolves. That's nearly 100 million gone already. Listen, great signing for Chelsea. I love the kid. What he offers. I mean, you look at his goals. Could he score more goals? Yes. 31 goals, 29 assists, and 125 appearances. But forget about his stats. This player will receive the ball under any pressure, and his running power, what he can do and open up defences. Chelsea have got a star player there. I think he'll start on the left maybe, with Palmer as maybe a 10. And, yeah, very sad to see him go. But with obviously the crazy rules, the financial rules, Aston Villa have got no choice. And for a player that they brought for 10 million to sell him for 117 is incredible business in 3 years.
It's good business. Jeff, what do you think this says about Chelsea's ability to still sign superstars, given they're not in Europe? It's reported that Xabi Alonso spoke to Morgan Rogers directly, and that's the trump card. Yeah.
That is the trump card for me. I was still shocked. I assumed he was going to Arsenal. Maybe he's had a chat with his mate Eberechi, who, despite picking up a Premier League winners' medal, didn't set the world alight last season after his big money move there. I wonder, you mentioned Gabby, he's going to play on the left. That's not ideal for him, is it? You know,
he can play there, but he prefers the 10, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I just wonder whether he puts a question mark over Cole Palmer's future there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know. Well, look, he's a fantastic player. I worry about for Villa, and not the only one. Mike has just said, 170 million. What are you going to do with that? Would you have Jack Grealish back?
I would have him back, yeah. I'm not sure he's in the manager's plans, but listen, it's the way of the world now, isn't it? Look at Newcastle losing players, Villa will lose players. These financial fair play rules are killing teams like Villa and Newcastle, and people will be listening saying, here he goes again. But it's true. Aston Villa wouldn't have wanted to sell him. He's the gaffer's son, basically. We used to call players. I was the gaffer's son at Villa, so was Ashley Young with Martin O'Neill. So is Morgan Rogers. He would have been the last player would have wanted to sell. But for that money, it's good business. But I'm just surprised that he didn't go to Arsenal. Arsenal back shopping in Asda. Chelsea at Waitrose.
It's not a.
Are we back there?
It certainly looks like it.
And an Norgard coming in for Arsenal, maybe.
Easy now. It's not a great look for Arsenal because I think he'd been top of Arteta's list for a while. Arteta spoke to the player. It doesn't look good when it feels like the deal is that close. It's a player that the club wants, and at the last minute, it's hijacked. However, there is still some question about whether he was right for Arsenal in terms of his player profile. I'm trying not to be bitter here. I'm trying not to, we didn't want him anyway. But it does feel a little bit like you've got kids, haven't you, right? You know when a kid starts playing with a toy and then another kid decides they want that toy. I don't really mind where he goes, but the fact he's gone to Chelsea really hurts.
But Arsenal do that, don't they, sometimes? Their fans moan about, like, they take their time with transfers and clubs have just come and says, nope. Alonso, Chelsea, 117, deal done. I'll speak to the player. Let's get it wrapped up. Medical today, done. Arsenal, like, no, maybe we'll give you 100 or we'll give you 90. No. Chelsea have come in the right fee.
My hope is that Berta was distracted by something more exciting. But this is the second time it's happened, this transfer.
Winger from Atlanta?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't quite get where he fitted in at Arsenal, but with Arsenal, I see the Leandro Trossard deal that got to Besiktas has gone through as well. And I didn't get that because I thought he was a big player for them, even if sometimes off the bench, he was a man who can change games. And for the amount of money involved, really?
Well, that is another reason I'm thinking there is someone coming. I don't think you let Leandro Trossard go. I don't think you then really drop the ball on Morgan Rogers if there isn't a plan. But that's me thinking very, very wistfully rather than perhaps realistically. But Arsenal have a lot to do in this transfer window.
Yeah, it's a great fee for Aston Villa, but it's just frustrating. Like when you want to go to the next level, but the rules don't allow you. Aston Villa's owners would spend 200 million every window if they could. But obviously they can't because of the rules. They have to sell him, evens out the books, and now they can go again.
Will you clap him when he comes back to Villa Park? Yeah.
Tielemans, no problem. Digne, Morgan Rogers. Happy for them, what they've done for that football club, Aston Villa, amazing. I think every fan will feel the exact same.
Yeah. And look, I'm not sure from an Arsenal perspective. If you're a Chelsea fan right now, you're feeling excited about the new season. That's for sure. Xabi Alonso in charge, and now having signed Morgan Rogers.
You'd back them top four, wouldn't you? No European football. Look at Manchester United had no European football. I'd back Chelsea to finish top four.
You'd have to give them a chance. Yeah, you'd have to give them a good chance.
Arsenal.
Chris in Leeds says Cole Palmer to Manchester United. We shall see. I'm sure that, I think the transfer market's going to go crazy in the next few weeks now that the World Cup is over, so we shall see. Laura, thanks very much.
Thank you, Laura Francis.
03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say this morning. John's a Sunderland fan. He wants to have his say on England's win against France in the third/fourth playoff final. Morning, John.
Morning, John.
Morning, lads. Hope the show starts off feeling good, watching, doing work all day. But here, man, I was so angry on Saturday. I mean, what was all that about? I mean, listen, you're paying him top dollars, and you've got these people who reckon you know everything about football. He's a missing jigsaw piece. He's a winner. He's this. He's that. I was one of the few that said, "We'll see." We were crap in the whole tournament. The whole tournament. We played 30 minutes. I saved with a little bit of grace against Croatia, who are nothing like they used to be. You sit down, you analyse the whole tournament, and we were absolutely rubbish. Rubbish. I mean, when we won 6-4 against them the other day, it left us more angry than getting beaten in the semi-final. I'm thinking you're having a laugh. We had no outlet, we had no ball, the ball was coming back 24/7. You can't defend against a team like that for 30 minutes, man. You cannot. Your partner said, why do they keep... She knows nothing about football, by the way, and that's not disrespectful. Yeah. She said, why do they keep leaving him on the corner on his own? Because the ball keeps going... That was Messi, by the way, right? Yeah. Why do they keep leaving him? He keeps crossing the ball. Of course, they're going to score. And now that's somebody who knows nothing about football. And when the commentator come on and said, they've got 6 defenders on, she turned around and said, does that mean we can't score any more goals now?
John, what happened first half, John? John, first half, Messi didn't have anything. Anderson, Spence were getting tied to him. Second half, someone decided to leave him on his own. You can't do that. Even last night, whenever he got the ball, Spain were on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, if anybody was going to create anything, it was probably going to come through him. So even with one of the defenders he was going to bring on, if he could have brought 11 defenders on, he probably would have done by the looks of it. But, I mean, you've got to remember that, and you included, you slated Southgate for saying he was Mr. Negative. He was even worse.
Yeah, 100%.
And he got double the money Southgate got.
Yeah. John, thanks very much indeed, mate.
Cheers, John.
Cheers, lads. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Mate. Speak for the nation, mate.
Jake says Arsenal didn't drop the ball on Rodgers. We dodged a bullet.
No,
so overrated. I can't have that at all, Jake.
Top player.
I suspect Jake is probably a Gunners fan because that tends to be the reaction. Gary says Morgan Rogers at Chelsea proved one thing to me, that he's a money grabber with no ambition, totally overpriced.
So he says to me, Jeff, you know what? Maybe he sat down with Alonso, maybe he sat down with Arteta, and maybe he fancied Alonso more, sold the project to him better.
Yeah, could well be. And Craig in Oxford says the third place match had the vibe of a charity game, players warming down, having some fun. That's what it was, a ticketed warm down session. Coming up, we turn our attention back to the World Cup final. You want to have your say on Argentina and the way they approached the final, or indeed Spain, on how they overcame that approach. 03717 223344 is the number to have your say.
Now, we get the inevitable fallout after a World Cup, and there are reports that one or two of the England players were very surprised that we went ultra defensive in that closing stage of the game. And we were saying earlier on to Stan Collymore that there's a lot of making up to be done by Thomas Tuchel. A lot of people now would have lost trust and belief maybe in his methods, and that would include fans, it would include media, and he's going to have a very prickly time with the media.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Good morning to you. It's 4 minutes past 7 o'clock. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Alongside Gabby Agbonlahor, we're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. And my voice. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. So, Argentina ousted as reigning world champions by a dominant Spanish side in a result that not only delighted the Spanish, but seemingly football fans all around the world too.
Yes. The first between European and South American champions.
You almost fear for Spain. They've had all this possession.
Well, no team ever in World Cup history has failed to have a single shot in the final. Argentina came here hoping to make history. Is that the history that they're going to be making?
Spain are coming forward now.
With another right-footed effort, and Eddie Martinez gets on the end of that and is able to beat it away. Poor challenge comes in, and a yellow card is shown. It's off.
Enzo Fernandez dismissed. But half an hour of extra time to go.
Terrible. How on earth did England lose to this rabble?
Headed down, edge of the 6-yard box, blazed into the roof of the net. Ferran Torres with the goal that may well win the World Cup for Spain.
Try to enjoy, but I don't know what's happening.
De La Fuente with this extraordinary record. It's his 50th game in charge of Spain. He's never lost one in a tournament.
Today, I think the best moment in my life.
And they are champions of the world.
Literally, this is the best team here. I don't think anyone can have any regrets.
The winning captain, Rodri, the player of the tournament, lifts it high. It's Spain's year. Worthy champions.
I think the whole of the football world, at least the whole of the football world outside of Argentina, were on their feet cheering when Ferran Torres scored that goal. Spain take the trophy, they take the spotlight, but we can't let Argentina come off lightly from this, can we? They failed to register a single shot on target in the entire 90 minutes of normal time, the first side ever to do so in a World Cup final. And for context, both Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde managed to trouble Unai Simon more during 90 minutes of their games. So Adrian Durham did not hold back on his assessment of the South Americans after the match.
They're an embarrassment to football. In fact, they've been an embarrassment for all but 20 minutes of the England game. Of course, they had to turn it on against England to win. But honestly, the regrets for England will be massive after this final. They will wonder how on earth they let Argentina beat them. I'm not saying England would have gone on to beat Spain in the final. Spain are good. They just didn't put enough chances away until that Ferran Torres slam into the roof of the net in extra time. Spared us penalties, spared us the pain of Argentina cheating their way to a World Cup win.
Cheating their way to a World Cup win. Harsh or true, Gabby, do you think?
I think it's true. And you look at all the games in the knockout stages, Jeff. You look at their performance against Cape Verde. Yes, they deserve to win that in extra time. But you look at the game against Egypt, that disallowed goal. That was one that was 50-50. They ended up winning 3-2 in the end in 90 minutes. And then Switzerland in extra time. They ran out of luck. Let's be honest. Thomas Tuchel gifted Argentina the semi-final win as well. So throughout the tournament, did they deserve to win the World Cup? No, they didn't. They knew Spain were 10 times better than them, and they tried to bully their way through a final. It didn't work. Thank God we had a referee that was okay. Should have booked more of the Argentinian players, but at least he gave that second yellow, because other referees in this tournament probably don't give the second yellow to Enzo Fernandez. So justice was done there in their behaviour. And after the game, Paredes, I want to see some sort of ban fine for him for future tournaments. You can't grab a player by the throat. Talk about being a sore loser.
Yeah.
Bullies, Jeff, and I'm glad they didn't bully themselves and stink themselves into a World Cup win.
Well, the good news is it might be many years before they're back on the main stage again, so to speak, because they're an ageing side.
Yes.
And they'll be doing without Lionel Messi. And look, let's be brutally honest, they did without Lionel Messi last night, didn't they, as well?
We have to be honest, don't we, sometimes, because Ronaldo's had a lot of stick. But if Ronaldo had done what Messi done last night, he would have got a lot of fingers pointed at him.
Yeah.
He was poor. He looked 39, Jeff, last night.
Yeah.
He looked tired, he'd leggy, and didn't do anything during the game.
Yeah, and no impact, as Coisty, Lee Dixon and Sam were saying last night. You know, once Enzo Fernandez got the red card, it wasn't a case of Argentina playing with 10 men. It was a case of them playing with 9 men.
But Jeff, when you look at that, though, was you watching the game against France? Yes. And then were you watching last night? Was you thinking to yourself, how did we lose to this Argentina side? Why did we sit back? Look at what Spain are doing.
Yeah.
They're throwing bodies forward. They're on the counter-attack, and they couldn't deal with it, Argentina. They were frightened of pace.
I mean, Chris has texted. He says, why is everyone slagging off England? Would any of us at the start of the World Cup have put £10 on England? No.
Don't matter.
Well, England actually were one of the favourites to win the World Cup, Chris. We were seeded 4th. We finished 3rd. Yes, the semi-final was frustrating to watch. But if Tuchel had brought on forward players and we got beat, he would have been slagged.
No.
Where were Germany, Italy, France and Brazil? We bettered them all. You know what, Chris? We had an absolute gimme of a run through to the semi-final. We'd hand-picked it. We'd have hand-picked those games. And that was why it was so disappointing, because we lost to an Argentina side who we have seen are bog ordinary or worse than that.
No pace.
No pace. The opportunity was there in our hands, but the coach and his tactics threw it away in the end. That's why England are getting... It's not so much England are getting slagged off, by the way, Chris, either. I think it's more the coach.
100% the coach. I mean, you can't look at the France game at all, Jeff, but look at some of the goals we scored on the counter-attack. Look at Bellingham's goal on the counter-attack. That's what we should have done against Argentina. Keep pressing forward. Yes, you don't throw everybody forward, but they were there for the taking.
Yeah.
And those tactics from Thomas Tuchel will be talked about for decades, Jeff.
Yeah.
This isn't something that's going to be forgiven or forgotten. It's going to be talked about for generations. And if he doesn't do better in this next tournament, Jeff, it's going to be the same vibe on the manager.
Yeah.
He got booed on Saturday, and deservedly.
Yeah. Just quickly on that great text from Chuddy. Who says, you're absolutely right about the bronze playoff match. I thought I was watching Soccer Aid. Everyone was playing up front. I was half expecting Usain Bolt, KSI, or Gordon Ramsay to pop up and score the winner. Let's head back to the phone lines. Argentina an embarrassment to our beautiful game. Or were they? Let's have your views. Dave is a West Ham fan. He wants to have his say. Morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, boys. How are we?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, you?
I'm good. Look, Gabby, you made the point, which I've kind of rang in about, was like, Messi, if that was a Haaland or a Kane or a Ronaldo putting a performance like that, he would have got absolutely hammered. I feel like he has this little magical force field around him.
Yes, he does.
Doesn't get any criticism. It's a bit like Argentina don't get any yellow cards. It's just, like you said as well, Jeff, like, they went down to 10 men. The goal, you watch the Spain goal, you can see him. He's not even tracking back. He's not even trying to help out. Sometimes I think he just gets this special aura, and they always compare Ronaldo with Messi. I don't think you can compare them. They're two completely different players, right? It's almost like comparing two Grand Prix drivers when one of them's only ever driven on two tracks, whereas Ronaldo's driven on all the tracks around all the world. So it does frustrate me that he gets away with performing like that on the big stage. Yes, he's getting old, but I feel other players and other strikers get a lot more flack.
Dave, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, I think he's done on the basis of last night. Ollie in Suffolk says, absolutely embarrassing from Argentina. Messi, time to retire, just like Ronaldo.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's hear from Jason, who's a Villa fan. Morning, Jason.
Morning, Jace.
Good morning, boys. How you doing?
Oh, well, mate.
Yeah, good, mate. What did you think of it?
Oh, it's just disgraceful scenes after the match as well, wasn't it? And you look at the football in general going forward. There's no way. If FIFA had any backbone, they should ban Argentina from the next football. Never mind then qualifying.
I think someone like Paredes should get a ban, 100%. Not the whole team, but like the player. He was the main culprit, wasn't he?
I think everybody was. I think the only one who was quiet is Messi sitting on his bum at the end of the game. Everybody was the same rage and turning their backs on the team as well. Is that what we want to see at football?
Yeah. No, I mean, that was a disgrace. I didn't actually see that myself. As I said, I'd already turned off. But look, Jason, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, mate.
Ben has texted, said that's Argentina's period of success over now that Messi will inevitably retire. Good riddance to the dirtiest team on earth. Nazir is a Man City fan. Morning, Nazir.
Morning, Nazir.
Oh, hi there. Sorry to my idea. How are you, lads? You okay?
Oh, well, mate.
Yeah, good. What did you make of it?
Brilliant. Just driving to work. I'm one of your regular listeners. Watching that game last night against Spain, how on earth did England not beat Argentina?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's something seriously wrong. It's the players, partly players to blame, and it's the manager as well. This thing has been going on for years and years and years. I've been watching England from 90s to 80s, 90s. It's the same old problem. I think they're slightly overpaid. They don't really care for the national team. If something's seriously wrong, I've got a solution for you. I think if you get Pep in, he'll win the cup for you.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, a lot of people would love to see Pep 100%. In charge. Whether he would want to see himself in charge is another matter. Nazir, thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
Indeed for that. Rick in London says, Adrian Durham spot on with his assessment of a disgraceful Argentina team. Lionel Messi accepted. You know what, Rick? I'm not accepting Lionel Messi. You know, he's my hero. I mean, his attempt to get Cucurella sent off was absolutely pitiful. He was like a naughty schoolboy there. So I don't think you can exempt Lionel Messi.
You see at times as well, Jeff,
that.
watching the first half, Argentina, they literally didn't want to risk any passes through the lines. They were just lumping it forward to Alvarez, and it was just comfortable for Spain. That wasn't a performance you expect from the players that have got available Argentina. Messi must have been confused, seeing his teammates just lump it to a striker who's not even tall.
Yeah. Just talking about domestic football, we talked about Morgan Rogers a moment ago. I love people's, unending enthusiasm for a new season. Dan, who's a Chelsea fan, morning Dan, says, unbelievable, Jeff. You give us just a chance of top 4 with the top 3 of, and I'll go from left to right just for you, Morgan, Pedro and Palmer. We're winning the league.
No.
Well, tell you what, Dan, you might. Cole Palmer needs to be a heck of a lot better than he was last season. Pedro, your only real striker at the moment, unless Liam Delap bursts onto the scene as well.
What formation is he playing as well? Alonso doesn't play 4-3-3, does he?
But I'll tell you what, Dan, I'm excited to see Chelsea under Xabi Alonso, that is for sure. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to FIFA and whether they embarrassed themselves once again last night.
Up until 72 minutes, we were going to get into the World Cup. Oh, we weren't crap.
The goal,
right?
was a wonderful ball from Morgan Rogers. Yeah. But I'm asking you to put your playing hat on now. Yeah. You're Argentina. Is that a good goal, or has they switched up at the back post?
That's a bad goal. You switched off. The right back, or was it the right back? Doesn't even react.
Why does that need to criticise a bad goal for England? It was a great goal. We went 1-0 up. It's a great cross.
It was a great cross.
Why can't you argue that Gordon lost his man to score the goal?
Because the geezer doesn't even see him.
Well,
he doesn't go
there must be a reason for that.
He doesn't run and go boom boom. He just runs and the guy's like, oh my man.
Troy, you can't criticise a goal that we scored.
I'm not criticising it. I'm saying we didn't play well. We had 5 shots in the whole game.
Yeah.
They had 5 on target. Remember, they don't call the 2 that hit the post on target.
Yeah. But
so they had the same amount of shots.
But man for man, they're better than us. But
no, they're not.
Well, they are.
No, they're not.
Not man for man, they're not.
Man for man, they're better than us.
Well, last night they were.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Shoes on, get up in the morning, couple minutes, let's rock and roll.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. BTS there, of course, from the halftime show, which was succinctly summed up by Wayne Rooney, wasn't it? His best piece of analysis so far in his career.
I love that,
Gabby,
though.
you quite liked it, though, didn't you?
No, but I like the way he was honest, though.
Yeah.
You know, some people, Jeff, they work on the TV and they maybe, no, don't say anything bad about this. Or that. Yeah. Rooney's honest.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed him.
That was brilliant. It was a brilliant one. By the way, Graham in Oldham texted, and it was another great moment as well. Lee Dixon gets a lot of flack, doesn't he? But ITV commentary by Lee Dixon last night. The Argentinians will be kicking themselves. They kicked everyone else at this World Cup. Brilliant. And you are right, mate. You are right. Thank you, Graham, for that. Another World Cup in the history books then. Spain win it again. talkSPORT's Angelina Kelly was in and around the New Jersey Stadium, soaking up the reaction.
A wonderfully dressed Spain fan. Can you describe this experience in one word?
Euphoric.
And what did you make of Spain's performance today, the game?
They played the best football. There's no question about it. They're the only ones that tried to win the game.
Carlos, tell me about your journey to get to this World Cup final.
I just came in today from Madrid. I'm going back now in about 10 minutes. My bus is leaving to the airport, so come and go. Yeah. But we won. Campeones del mundo. Viva España!
We just won World Championship. Spain once again World Champion.
Can you describe this moment in one word?
It's unbelievable. The real thing about our team is that they've played like a team. They never have egos were aside.
Talk to me about Rodri. Do you think that he should be winning the Ballon d'Or after this? What do you think of his performance this tournament?
Without him, they wouldn't have won the whole tournament. So yeah, it was great. Fantastic player. The midfield is Spain's strength, so it's fantastic to see a player like that.
Great night for the Spanish. Eddie has texted, he says, morning guys, couldn't agree more how embarrassing Argentina were, but we're skipping past how corrupt this competition was, doing everything they could to have Argentina in the final. The only reason Fernandez was sent off was because they couldn't possibly skip over it. Worst World Cup ever. FIFA needs disbanding. Eddie, thank you. Now it's the final chance to enter our £26,000 competition, which closes today. That's right, at 6 p.m. this evening. Someone will get that phone call that lands them a whopping 26 grand in cash, tax-free. All you have to do to have a chance of winning is to head to talksportwin.com. Better do it now. Time's running out. That's talksportwin.com. Time now for our next coffee break with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Score a quality morning coffee for the day ahead.
You gotta go and get angry at all of my honesty.
And Laura Francis.
Morning, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Morning. I think that was probably the song that Justin Bieber should have played during the halftime show. This is going to be your official review of the halftime show. We're going to take this very seriously. Yep. 27 minutes and 22 seconds, the longest in World Cup history. Let's start with the pre-show or the closing ceremony. We had I Show Speed, Nicole Scherzinger, Robbie Williams and Laura Pausini. They were singing, I don't know if you were aware of this, but FIFA have their own anthem called Desire. What did you make of the closing ceremony that was before the game itself, which felt entirely superfluous?
Like Robbie Williams hasn't been relevant in over a decade.
Can I just stop you there, Gabby? Yeah. I also thought that.
I was like, what?
He had a #1 album this year. Number 1.
Yeah, but I was just looking at Rob Williams like, let it go, mate. Come on.
He's got a good agent, though, getting him these gigs.
Let it go.
Maybe get you a different agent.
What, same agent as Shakira?
Yeah, really good. We then went through to, bafflingly, Tom Cruise. Let's hear what Tom Cruise had to say to the world at the World Cup yesterday.
More than 30 days ago, 48 nations began a journey. They crossed oceans. They crossed borders, they crossed cultures. And together, they showed us why this game belongs to the world. From 3 countries across them, and from every corner of the globe, we have witnessed greatness. And we have shared in moments of joy, moments of hope, moments we will all never forget.
Yeah, I think let's fade that out. That's probably what should have happened yesterday.
Pass me a bucket.
You enjoyed that one, Jeff?
Oh, God help me. Makes me vomit. The whole thing. It's just... words fail me. I mean, just fail me. Reduces a tournament to that. It's unbelievable.
You didn't feel inspired by Tom Cruise there? No.
No, I felt physically ill.
Felt physically unwell. Well, that was then followed by the Louis Vuitton case encasing the World Cup trophy, as if we didn't need any more reminder of what we're doing here. And then came the halftime show, which... I mean, Wayne Rooney summed it up. I've written down the word naff, just because maybe we can't say what Wayne Rooney had to say here. Gabby, what did you make of Madonna to start off with? She basically phoned it in, to be honest, because quite a lot of that was pre-recorded. Right up until the last moment, I thought, she's not actually there. She's not there at all. Yeah.
Like it wasn't live. And to see Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, the greats, selling their souls for money and doing that is embarrassing.
Would you do it if you got the call up, though?
For probably the millions they're getting, maybe.
Yeah, you'd probably do it. You would, wouldn't you?
But when you're on their level, Ronaldinho and Ronaldo, the greats, I'm sure they're not struggling.
They don't need to be doing that, do they?
For cash, but yeah, not great. I enjoyed Shakira.
Yeah.
Shakira and Burna Boy. That was the whole halftime show. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
That was good.
A word on BTS, Jeff. You a fan?
No.
No. Quick one on BTS, though. They're making their comeback after a 3-year hiatus. What were they doing? Completing their mandatory military service in South Korea. So they've been away and now they're back. And Justin Bieber, Gabby, what did you make of his song choice there?
I didn't know the song.
You didn't know
He's
the
got
song?
so many good songs. I like Justin Bieber. He's got loads of good albums. But to play that one was very odd. Yeah. He looked lost, didn't he?
He clearly wanted to show off his vocal ability, which maybe was not the right time to do it.
It was,
But then we finished with Shakira, Burna Boy, which you said you've liked. And then what I think was the weirdest moment of the entire show was the children singing right at the end, which was a curation by Chris Martin. Jeff, overall thoughts. Can you give it a score out of 10 for the World Cup show?
One thing I would say was that there was an expectation that it might overrun, that it might be a 35-minute halftime break. So the one positive was it was only 27 minutes break in total. Jake has said, why is everyone so miserable at the World Cup halftime show? It's just a spectacle. Everyone's trying to have a good time. Well, the reason we're miserable about it, Jake, is we don't need that to enhance football. We don't need a 27-minute halftime break.
Even before the game, the Buffer brothers. Yeah. Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, that was,
We're not boxing guys. Let it go. It was like anybody and everyone they could get and pay money to was there to collect their money.
Yeah. I'll give it 1 out of 10 on the basis that it was only 27 minutes and it could have been longer. Chris says, by the way, sorry, Cap, next time there's a rock concert or a pop concert at Wembley, they should stop it halfway through for a 30-minute game of five-a-side. You're right,
Chris.
Chris.
Be fuming at it.
Yeah.
But that's what America do, don't they?
It was very American throughout. They are unbelievably committed to make it American. But as you say, 27 minutes, 22 seconds... It was a tough watch, and we're not being miserable. I just think we are people of taste, and there are ways that we could have done that, and that was not.
And also, what happened when the game started, second half? Argentina 2 mistakes, and then you could see 2 goals because you're used to 15 minutes, and you've had maybe half an hour. It's not fair.
They were in the changing room dancing to Shakira, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe it distracted them.
You're not wrong.
But we just don't need this Americanization of football. We just don't need it.
But isn't that what happens when Infantino is there and he's all running around Donald Trump on the pitch when he's giving the trophy out?
Yeah, well, if we have time, Jeff, let's hear from Trump on his congratulating himself on the tournament. Please, here we go.
No.
Well, I think my first meeting with Johnny, he's fantastic, the job he's done, and he had this idea, and I said, that's crazy. We're not a soccer country. And it turns out we are a soccer country. We're a football country, but we don't want to get it confused. But I don't think there's ever been anything like what's happened with the whole World Cup. It's been beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and I really give Johnny the credit.
Was that Matt Ford?
Johnny. My mate Johnny.
Why can't he say Gianni? Why is he incapable of saying Gianni? Johnny. I mean...
I imagine he's got a sore back this morning from slapping himself on the back for a job well done. He also said it was 4 or 5 times better than anything before. So congratulations, Trump and FIFA. What a spectacle.
He gives Rodri the trophy, though, the World Cup. It looks like he didn't want to move.
No, he didn't want to move. He wanted to be in the shot.
Stand in the middle. Come on then.
And that's probably Johnny's best bit of the whole tournament is ushering Trump off the stage. So he was just to the side of the picture rather than centre stage.
Honestly, look at Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. Deary.
Brilliant.
You would take the money though, wouldn't you?
Thomas.
Bills to pay.
Tom's just said it's a joke. America have had the World Cup twice before England. We haven't hosted since 1966. Yeah. Where do you see our halftime show? Laura, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Laura.
That was all thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to what happened on the pitch and whether everyone was left even more frustrated by England against France, because it raised the question yet again, why on earth did we not see Bukayo Saka against Argentina? That's next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Score a quality morning coffee for the day ahead.
If the 85th minute comes and we're still 1-up and we've been attacking and we've still created chances, but it hasn't quite gone in, but we're 1-up and Rashford's on the pitch, and Saka's on the
go on,
pitch.
keep going. And
In the 85th minute, it brings on Dan Burn.
No.
Lovely
No, we get done the counter-attack. What are you going to say? What are you going to say?
What do you mean?
I just told you the scenario.
No, but that scenario's...
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
A very good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor. And Arnold Clark, browse the UK's best used car deal. Score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Jez in Cardiff says, not sure if this was a wind-up. Did I read that all the players who won the World Cup get a championship ring, just like NBA
Yes, they do.
and baseball? Please tell me that's not correct.
It is true.
Jez,
It is correct.
True.
Yes.
Spain, kings of the world. Argentina, runners-up. England, well, let's say it's bronze medalist, third. Winners of the third, fourth playoff, let's be honest. Thomas Tuchel spoke to talkSPORT after the 6-4 third-place playoff win against France and asked what his message is to the doubting England fans.
We move forward. That's very easy. We move forward. There's no other reality than moving forward. I think we built something together in the last 7 weeks. We decided today that this defeat against Argentina will not define us, who we are, and we will show a reaction, which we did. I'm very glad about that. And then you bounce back. This is what we do. We need to. There's no need now to get into arguments and to start to try to convince doubters. We need to prove the point when the matches come. We have to win football matches and to put them on our side.
What do you think he built over 7 weeks?
Nothing. Oh no, he questioned our DNA. Let's not forget everything that he said after the game, Jeff. Question our DNA. Oh, our DNA. So we haven't got the likes of Wharton, Mainu, Palmer, Foden, who have got the DNA that you're talking about and keep the ball. You picked that squad of players. You decided to leave certain players at home. That's on you, but we have got the DNA. And I think if you speak to the FA and grassroots football, Jeff, the DNA has got better with players coming through and being able to play on the ball. I go and watch my nephew who's at Aston Villa in the academy. Some of the players, Jeff, that are coming through, they receive the ball, they keep the ball, they can play the Spanish way. You decided not to do it. Your tactics are at fault. Don't say about, there's arguments and division. You caused that division. Come out, be honest. I made a mistake. I was defensive. I wanted to park the bus against an Argentinian side that we should have threw pace at them and defended through attacking. It's on you. Simple as that. Whatever he said there is a load of gibberish, to be honest.
I mean, a lot of people will point to that win over France in the third, fourth playoff, but how much value do you think the players will give to a, quote, bronze medal?
Nothing. Zero, Jeff. They all have been angry at, like, the fact that he chose to play Declan Rice and then 2 10s in Rodgers and Eze. This attacking formation, when it didn't matter, let's be honest. France are on the beach first half. They must have got an absolute hammering off their manager at half-time. They come out and look at them. They picked us apart with ease at times. Bellingham's goal, fantastic. Saka was fantastic. Rashford was sharp. That's what would have frustrated so many England fans. You lost us the World Cup, Thomas Tuchel. Whatever you say, we do not forgive you until you come out and apologise, hold your hand up, you made a mistake. There's a reason why, Jeff, you were brought in. 5, 6, 7, 8 million, whatever you're getting, a foreign coach. The FA took a risk and it hasn't worked.
Well, will those doubters become Tuchel followers? Let's ask a man synonymous with English football, legendary former manager Harry Redknapp. Morning, Harry.
Morning, Harry.
Good morning. Gabby,
mate.
stop sitting on the fence here.
Sorry, mate.
So, look, I mean, what do you think about Tuchel? Brought in to give us that tactical edge to take us to the next level. Has he achieved anything?
No, disappointing, Jeff, really. I mean, what an opportunity we had. We only had to look at Argentina last night to see what an average team they are. And then, you know, they were there for the taking, and really we had them where we wanted them, and then we suddenly decided to go defensive and invited them on, and they suddenly got a... So, yeah, we wasted a great chance, really. It was a poor decision to finish up playing the way we did, and it cost us dearly. But I say, when you watched them last night, you realise if we couldn't beat them, there's something wrong. I mean, they were so poor last night. You know, not a shot on goal. We got one shot in the extra time. Poor, a very average team. You know, how many of their team would have got in an England squad? And I think, as Gabby said, when we talk about not being, of course, we've got players that can handle the ball, we're full of them, you know. And we left lots of them behind, the players that could have. And even then, the French game, you know, when we bring in Eze in and we look at Rashford comes in, Saka. Where was Saka in midweek? How can he be fit to play against France and not fit to play in midweek? I don't understand that. 3 days later, 4 days later, if he's not fit on the Wednesday, surely, how's he suddenly fit to play in that game? He was obviously left out of that game, the semi-final.
Harry, you know better than all of us, legendary manager. When you go to that back five, it just invites pressure, doesn't it? And especially when, Harry, you don't have pace. You don't have pace on the counter-attack to get out.
Yeah, I mean, they were there to be hit on the counter, weren't they? That's when you put a bit of pace up front and you think, OK, if we're going to suck it up a little bit, but as soon as we get it, bang, we're going to exploit them spaces that you've left behind you because they were pushing everybody forward. Like we did first half with France. I mean, France was shocking, I know, but, look at the gap. Look at when we hit them on the break with pace, with Rashford, Saka. They just couldn't handle it at all, could they? And we could have been the same the other day, really. It was a wrong tactical decision. It made a big mistake. And it has cost us dearly for sure, because there was an incredible opportunity there to goal away.
Yeah. I just wonder, Harry, and I know we're looking from the outside in, but after the Argentina defeat, there were at least a couple of the players, Mark Gay, Harry Kane, coming on and saying how surprised they were that we were being asked to play so defensively. And then Bukayo Saka has come out after the game against France saying, I'm fit, I wanted to play more. Do you get the impression that not everybody, not all of the players, are quite buying into Thomas Tuchel?
Well, you never know, Jeff. It's an amazing game how, early in the tournament, people coming out saying there's a better atmosphere now and we're all together and there's a better feeling in the camp. It's sad, really. That is how football is. A new manager comes in, we're fitter now because we're, every time there's a change, there's always, it's much better now. We're working harder, we're training better, we're doing. But at the end of it all, I think at the end of the tournament, I think they must have been disappointed with. And not only that, when you play five at the back, you need to work on it. You can't just suddenly throw five on. OK, it worked again. We got away with it against Mexico, but we had to do it because we had 10 men. We went defensively because we were trying to hang on in there. We were man short, But the other day, we had the game exactly where we wanted it. They were so bad. They were so average, Argentina, and they were there for the taking. But we let them off the hook. So, he has to take the criticism, and I'm sure Saka, why he hasn't played, I don't know, really. You say when you looked at his performance the other night, how we left him out the semi-final, Rashford as well, with coming on the, with his pace. Yeah, there was lots of options. Eze hardly kicked the ball, really, and he can do stuff, But I think we and as Gabby said, look at the quality players we left at home. We've got a lot of quality in this country, a lot of players there that can keep the ball and can play with the ball, and we didn't pick them all. That was a problem.
I think 99% of the country agree what we say, Harry, and then some people were saying a certain thing, and then I was thinking through and seeing Thomas Muller agrees with us. All these legendary players that played the game agree the tactics were wrong. Do you think Thomas Tuchel is a lucky man to keep his job for the next tournament, Harry?
I suppose, listen, there was never any. I don't suppose they're ever going to get rid of him because he just signed a new contract. I mean, that was a strange decision. We've not even played in a tournament yet, and he gets a new contract. Normally, you get rewarded, or you get judged after a competition, after a tournament, like after managers have been sacked in this tournament. So he's got another opportunity. He hasn't done anything, or nothing's happened that suddenly made me think, oh, my God, we're playing a different... How are we playing? I don't really know, to be honest. There's no... if you saw a pet team, you knew exactly what they were doing, and, quite a few managers with it. But this team here, I don't really know what the tactics were. Do you know what I do think as well? I think it might have been what we talking to Tony Pulis about the other morning. We hadn't got anybody on his bench with any experience, really. Sometimes, Gabby, you need somebody alongside you. You don't, just to bounce off, who's been there and done it. I always took people with me like Jim Smith, like Glenn Hoddle with me, Joe Jordan, Kevin Bond. They'd all been managers. Steve McLaren came in me. I took people around me who had been... And you bounce off them. You ask an opinion, they give you an opinion. You don't necessarily take note of what, don't exactly implement what they've said, But it's nice to, and I do think we lack the experience around him, really. People who might say, listen, I don't think we should be doing that now, and at least put a bit of doubt in his mind. He might have changed his mind and not done what he did. But I do think we lack a bit of nous on the bench, really, with him.
Harry, great to talk to you again, mate.
Thank
Yes,
you,
good
Harry.
talking to you, Gabby.
Cheers,
Good
Harry.
luck.
Top man, Harry.
Take
Thank
care,
you, mate.
John's texted and said, yeah, Harry's brilliant.
Love him.
Talks a lot of sense there as well
Yes.
about having experience alongside him on the bench,
And
I think.
also, we've got the DNA,
Yeah.
Jeff. That's what's going to wind up so many coaches out there. We've got the players.
Yeah. But I honestly thought in that Argentina game, it did look like a rabbit in the headlight. Didn't know what to do. John has said as much as Southgate was pilloried, he did more for English football than Tuchel. And Jill's text, he said, Kane on social media with the medal around his neck saying how good they were to finish third. This is the winning mentality. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more in-store or online as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
We'll continue to review a shocker of a World Cup final and ask the question, how good has this World Cup been? Will it live long in your memory? 03717 223344 is the number to call. Gabby and I'll give you our thoughts on that as well. We'll focus on this Spanish side too and the brilliance of Rodri. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Want to win a brand new Ford Ranger? Just spend £100 or more using your Travis Perkins trade account to enter into the draw. T's and C's apply.
I wasn't overly enamoured with what we were doing anyway. I've spoken freely on this marvellous channel that we're on and, on talkSPORT regularly and said, look, it's not as good as what everyone was making out, I didn't think, and that's nothing against the manager, Thomas Tuchel, nothing at all. It's just that I didn't think, I wasn't thinking we were blowing teams away and we were purring, but we were finding a way, and that's equally fair to say. That's a brilliant thing to have, of course, if you're not playing brilliantly, but you're winning games. Now, that's a great habit. We all know that. So I don't think I was too... I try to give balance to my comments about these things, and I didn't think we were magnificent anyway. There was a lot of talk about this feel, and how the feel was better. I wasn't having that bit. I was going, oh, come on, do me a favour. And I've spoken freely on, I think it was with Simon and Jim about, Gareth's time, and they were sort of suggesting I was supporting him because I'm his mate and all that. I wasn't. I was just calling it how I think it was. I don't think there was radical change. I had a big debate with Simon about it on there.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock, Monday, July the 20th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Abby says, Lionel Scaloni considering his role. What a joke. He has to, because without the magical Messi winning or drawing a match will be a thing of the past. And Kelvin in Chichester says, come on, fellas, it's history now. Let's hope we learn from our mistakes. To be honest, I'd rather go out in the semi-finals than play like Argentina and get to the final.
No.
It's only a game, kids.
No, it's not.
Kelvin, we won't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
What are we going to do between now and 10?
Yeah.
I do take your point, Kelvin. And I agree, by the way. I'd rather have gone out in the semi-final than play like Argentina in that final.
Yeah, but we wouldn't
they
have.
were such a disgrace.
But
No, we wouldn't.
wouldn't
We
we?
wouldn't have done that. Yeah. Headlines this morning, Lamine Yamal, 2 decades younger than Messi, but he's now lifted both the World Cup and the European Championships. England hit the highest one-day international total at Lord's to beat India by 27 runs in an absolute run fest yesterday. And Ryan Fox's brilliant 18th hole birdie sealed the open in dramatic fashion at Royal Birkdale. Here's how Ryan reacted to that incredible win.
It is something that's always there. You dream of being a major champion. You want to do it, whether you think it's a reality or not. I guess I probably didn't until the last couple of years. Even I wasn't in the major championships consistently until the last couple of years. So yeah, to be sitting in front of you guys now as the champion golf for the year is a bit crazy. So I said earlier, surreal. I don't have the vocabulary to explain it.
Yeah, I think he does. Brilliant, modest, talented, and a very popular winner as well. Well done to Ryan Fox. Now, we'll ask the question, has this been a great World Cup? Many early doors said it was on track to be one of the best. But, since the round of 16, and since Cape Verde went, really, the action on the pitch has left a lot to be desired. We had that final yesterday with the shameless, classless, anti-football thugs of Argentina. Look, I backed them to win this tournament, but when Ferran Torres put the ball in the back of the net for spin, I was on my feet, punching the air. It's been a World Cup for me, Gabby, with a handful of good games and with worthy winners, but with so many issues.
Yes.
Everything from the interference in that red card for Florian Balogun, the barring of the referee from the tournament, the ticket prices, the hydration breaks, the treatment of the Iranian team. For me, the Americanization of the final in particular, for me, not a World Cup 100%. That will live great. How many memorable games can you, now?
Not a lot, not at all.
Argentina, Egypt.
Yeah, even to add on to that, the A-list celebrities that don't give a damn about football, drinking their wine in their amazing seats that have got for free of charge, then fans are paying thousands and thousands for seats, nosebleed seats in the top section. A lot didn't sit right with me, and especially, Jeff, the way the Iranian team were treated, having to stay in Mexico and 24 hours allowed in America to play a game and get kicked out. Didn't like it one bit, mate.
Yeah, and of course it was the Donny and Johnny show, with virtually every TV shot focusing on them. And by the way, where was the tribute? Where was the reference to Canada and Mexico during the course of... Were they involved?
In the final?
Did they host any games? Because you'd never have guessed, would you? Looking at the final, it was always...
It was the American national anthem, wasn't it? Johnson before the game. There was nothing to do with Mexico. Oh, you spot on. Yep, spot on. Hopefully it's another, 30 years before we'd have it again, fingers crossed.
But do you think it will be?
No, I think in there maybe 12, 16 years we'll have it again, won't they?
I think they're back there.
Is that okay, Johnny, my friend? Yes, no problem, Donald.
And no fault, no fault of the Americans, but obviously the time difference, if you're European, made it difficult to watch some of the games because they're taking place...
Took an edge off it, doesn't it?
In the middle of the night, which takes an edge off it. And the fact, the 48 teams meant there were a lot of games which were not great games.
It would have been a lot better, wouldn't it, Jeff? It was in our time zone, and you're maybe you can watch a game at work. You're coming back from work, and you've got a game at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. Yeah, the time killed a lot of them.
It did. Look, that's nobody's fault. It's just one of those things.
Course,
but, 48 teams, looks like 64 for the next World Cup as well. So, and look, let's be honest, Cape Verde came up brilliant. Vazinha, one of the stars of the entire tournament. So that was brilliant.
100%. Curacao as well. What they've done, 160,000 people in Curacao, and look what they achieved.
Yeah, and we saw
amazing memories with so many countries.
Re-emergence of Norway was fantastic as well, and the Norwegian fans with their rowing celebration was absolutely.
I think a lot of the African teams will learn so much as well. Morocco come close, Senegal, Ivory Coast, they will learn a lot of being so close, and what could they have done something different, especially Senegal, the way they went out to Belgium. Could they have done a lot more to hold on to that win? So I think there's a lot of positives, Jeff, but 64 teams. Maybe Scotland will qualify again. Imagine that.
In memorable games, of course, I've got to mention Mexico-England, because that was, of course, a memorable game, and that was a fantastic effort by the England side there. And I think it's fair to say that nobody's been critical, really, of the England players, or not too critical of the England players throughout the course of the tournament, and rightly so. But there have to be question marks over the coach's tactics.
Yes.
Let's head back to the phone lines. Joe is a Liverpool fan. Morning, Joe.
Morning, Joe.
Morning, gents. Lads, I love the show, but I'm going to be critical of you this morning, Gabby. I'm sorry.
No problem, mate.
I think we've got to get back to basics, mate. We've got to get back to basics. I'm not a great lover that a German manager came in to manage our country. Not in a million miles. We're saying about not giving our coaches a chance in this country. He's gone out. He's gone to Barry. He's gone alongside them. The guy hasn't got experience, but he will get experience, because I think Tuchel's a great manager. There's a couple of things also I want to say is that what we're doing in this country, we're playing the more games than any European club, any sort of South American club. 55 games a season we're playing, lads. Other clubs are playing 50, 41, 44 max. Far too many games. Could Tuchel have bought other players? Yeah, I agree. He could have.
Yeah.
But he chose not to. And I think what he's done, mate, I think he's starting something different. I seen a difference from a perspective of a footballer. You get it from your avenue, so do you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Is that there's something different there, lads. There's definitely a different feeling from the players.
Well, what was different, Joe?
Well, Jeff, I thought they were playing better. There's second half against Croatia. We've never done that in the past, Jeff.
Croatia are an aging side, mate. Come on.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're still in the European Cup, mate.
Okay, then. Okay, let me say this then. Okay, everything you say, no problem. You got your opinion. Okay. So do you agree with Thomas Tuchel's tactics once we went 1-0 against Argentina? Yes or no?
No, I don't. No, but don't shoot the man down. Okay, we come
third. Wait 4 years for a World Cup, mate. Where are we going to be here in 4 years? A lot of us won't be. No one knows what's around the corner.
Well, Gabby, I've got my best mate there. Died, mate. Fucking two weeks ago down to the World Cup final. He never made it. That's life. We've got to get on with it, and we've got to sort it out. And it will. It will happen, Gabby. And the thing is about it, mate, is that we've got to stop criticising every manager that comes in, whether it's Premier League or national team.
Hey, football,
the
mate.
Media,
when you're getting paid £5-6 million a year, and you've been brought in to do the big decisions that Southgate got wrong, and the one time you had to do it, you got it totally wrong and went defensive when they were there for the taking. Look at Spain last night. That's what everyone's frustrated with, mate. If he come out after the game, Joe, and says, listen, I got it wrong, or 2 days later, I got it wrong, I hold my hands up, but to keep not apologising to so many fans that are paid thousands of money to go and watch games, he got it wrong, mate. Simple, Joe.
Gabby, I agree. I agree. There's players playing now in the Premier League earning 12, 15 million pound a year, and they can't score a goal. So it's not his fault he's on fucking 8 million pound a year, mate. That's what they want, and that's what they're getting.
Joe, look, a brilliant call. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Joe.
I do appreciate you. I mean, I think you're spot on, and not so much with the number of games that the English teams are playing, but the intensity of those games in the Premier League.
We don't look after our teams. Look at PSG. You know, in France, they look after them. They make them postpone a game, and they've got a big Champions League semi-final or whatever, Jeff. We don't over here, do we? Nope, you still got to play a game 3 days later. I totally agree. But when it comes down to it, Jeff, the manager got it wrong, and he's got to answer for it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
David says the manager used the same tactics against Mexico and against Norway. He won those matches, so you're okay with the tactics. But we lost the game against Argentina. You're not okay with the tactics. You can't have it both ways. Well, look, against Mexico, those tactics were forced on us because we'd had a player sent off. So we're down to 10 men. We're playing in the Azteca, the home of Mexico as well. The circumstances were extremely different, David. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to the World Cup final, and this time we'll celebrate the brilliance of Spain.
Let's talk Morgan Rogers. Obviously, Middlesbrough will be quite happy as well, Crookie.
Yeah, I think they get 15 million quid there or thereabouts from their sell-on.
Yeah.
This is a move that's come somewhat out of the blue because I've felt for the last few weeks the direction of travel was that Morgan Rogers ends up at Arsenal. I know that his advisors have been in talks with Arsenal for quite a few weeks now, but I'm not sure that Arsenal were willing to pay the asking price of Chelsea of season opportunity, £117 million, a British record fee, and he's on his way to Stamford Bridge. I think Arteta is going to be really disappointed because Rodgers was his top target. Arsenal could offer Champions League football. Chelsea, of course, can't offer European football of any form. But from an Aston Villa perspective, this should give them the platform now to go on and find their way around the financial issues they've had with UEFA in particular and be able to bring in reinforcements. They need them, don't they? Because they've not only lost Morgan Rogers, they've lost Yuri Tillemans to Manchester.
Ever fancied having a beer in the stands while watching your team at the Emirates? Well, this season you actually can, and not just there. You can do it at Anfield, Goodison Park, Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford too. But hold on, I hear you cry. Isn't drinking alcohol in the stands at Premier League games illegal? You're right, for the men's game it still is, but the Women's Super League is doing something different, and here's how we got there. Back in the 1980s, football had a serious image problem. The sport was plagued by violence, pitch invasions and beer-fuelled chaos. From fan riots at the 1980 Scottish Cup final to the Heysel disaster years later, things were unsafe and the consequences were disastrous. Then in 1985, Margaret Thatcher's government stepped in. They introduced the Sporting Events Control of Alcohol Act, banning alcohol in view of the pitch across England and Wales. Since then, many fans and clubs have called for the law to be relaxed, especially since other sports don't face the same restrictions. If you're popping down to watch the Red Roses roar at Twickenham, feel free to grab a pint on the way to your seat. Wandering down to Lords to catch some boundary bashing? Fill your boots with G&Ts. But if you were hoping to cheers your club's promotion to the Premier League with a Prosecco in hand from pitchside, sorry, it'll have to be tea or Bovril. In 2021, it looked like things might finally change. The government commissioned the Crouch Report, a fan-led review into football governance. One recommendation was to allow League Two and National League clubs to lift the alcohol ban to boost matchday revenue. But nothing came of it. Authorities still weren't convinced that fans could be trusted. And then in January 2025, something did change. The Women's Championship, now called the WSL 2, launched a trial allowing fans to drink in the stands. The reasoning? Well, fans at women's matches tend to behave differently. Less aggression, more family-friendly vibes. Now, the women's game is raising the bar, literally. Select WSL and WSL2 stadiums are allowing fans to drink alcohol in view of the pitch. It's been a landmark move showing growing trust in fans and recognising that women's football is building its own culture. So could the men's game be the next to leave the 1980s behind? Well, maybe, if fans can prove they can handle a pint without pitching it at someone. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Until then, it's Bovril all around. Cheers to that.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling with former England striker Gabby Agbonlahor. We're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. David says plonker. This must be for you, Gabby. Oh, no, he says plonkers, plural.
Oh, it's both of us.
That's me.
How dare he?
He said, how many international players are in top Premier League teams, so play as many games as England? Yeah, Dave, I get that. England have got Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, and last season Marcus Rashford playing abroad. So 23 of the 26 then are playing in the Premier League. None of the other squads have got 23 of their 26 players playing.
Let's be honest,
the Premier League.
Declan Rice looks shattered.
Yeah, fatigue is going to affect, intensity is going to affect the England squad more than anybody else's.
100%.
Full stop, end of story.
Totally agree. Too many games. Of course there is.
Yeah.
Too many games. And can we look at Arteta?
We wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
No, I'm not complaining. But I know Adrian Durham mentioned it last week, and some of the things he said I disagreed with. But Arteta did use Declan Rice too much. He brought in Norgard, never used him, Brentford's captain, didn't rotate Declan Rice enough, and he was shattered.
But his duty is to Arsenal.
Of course he doesn't care about it.
Yeah.
No, I care about what we've got going on.
I get that completely. Yeah. So anyway, the end of the day, it is Glory, Gloria, España once again.
Tonight there will be a new winner. Xavi, there goes Torres. Oh, it's there! Fernando Torres of Liverpool gives Spain the lead in the European Championship final after 33 minutes.
As 16 years ago, when European dominance translated so eloquently to the world stage.
You start to really mention all the players that we had at that time in the midfield. For example, we had Xabi Alonso, we had Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Silva, Mata, and Cesc Fabregas.
Fabregas through. It's Iniesta to win the World Cup for Spain. That's the goal.
I hope this one will be also a golden generation, because I think there is something really important being built. There's one similar thing, is that we try to win games through possession of the ball and through trying to attack more than the rival.
Low ball in, Oivabo slides it in.
And quite frankly tonight, here in Berlin, the best team won.
Whose new guard aimed to emulate their predecessors of 2010 by adding world dominance to their continental triumphs. Ferran Torres with a goal that may well win the World Cup for Spain. Latest generation of continental heroes to claim their country's second title.
Brilliant for Spain, European champions, world champions as well, unbeaten in 38 consecutive games. And of course, in the whole tournament, Spain only conceded one goal. Rodri back to his best and instrumental in their World Cup triumph as well. The former England captain Stuart Pearce was inside the ground last night for talkSPORT. He explained why Spain are so good.
How to build up from the back through the thirds. I think they've done that extremely well. That's a massive lesson for England, how they done that and fed the ball into the advanced areas. I think if they had real cutting edge at the front of their team, Spain, they would have probably won that game 4 or 5-0, in all honesty. I thought their front four probably let them down in some ways in not finishing off what their build-up play. But their build-up play was magnificent, defensive, work rate and team ethic. That's their key card. That's the joker that Spain have played right through this tournament, team ethic.
Delighted to say joining us now, Spanish football manager Pep Clotet. Good morning to you, Pep.
Good morning, Pep.
Good morning, Jeff and Abby. Good morning.
Oh, look, it must be a wonderful feeling. I mean, we felt that Spain were representing the rest of the world as well, by the way, mate, because football was the winner there. The Spanish side, they kept their heads and they kept playing regardless of the provocation.
Absolutely. I think not only that Spain played the best football, but as well the behavior on that game. And I think there was all the football world united on that statement. I think Argentina, to be defending that title, should have used better methods than the ones that they were using. And it was not only yesterday. Throughout the whole tournament. I still remember the game against England. Some of the things that we've seen from that team is not up to the standard it should have had, Argentina. And I'm happy that a very humble team like Spain, with a lot of talent, but young and a fantastic generation, has imposed itself using noble arguments like football and football at the highest level, because of course the display that we saw yesterday, managing for Argentina to get only the first shot on the 117th minute, it's outstanding.
You know what I love about this Spanish team as well is that they've got another couple of tournaments in them as well with the experience they've got, but the age. Cabasi 19, Porro 26, Cucurella 27, Baena 25, Lamal 19. You've got Nico Williams 24, 21 Gavi, Pino 23. These players have got another Euros, another World Cup, and some of them even more tournaments in them.
Yeah, absolutely. It just started. It didn't got enough credit, Luis Enrique, when he started like that on the Qatar World Cup with a really young team, thinking about the future and creating a generation, even though sacrificing the performance in that World Cup. But it created that, and now the FA is taking over this to the next level and managed to get the Euros and now the World Cup, and of course at least a couple of more tournaments to come. I think it will be more difficult, of course, now because they know more the team, everyone. But I agree. There's more future in this team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, from an outsider's perspective, Pep, we look and we all know Spain have got wonderfully talented players, Lamine Yamal and Rodri and Dani Olmo, so on and so forth. What surprised me was how well they've done defensively with a backline. We would look at it and think, well, there's some vulnerabilities here. Porro, Cabasi, who's just a kid, Laporte, who's the other end of his career, and Marc Cucurella. But they've done absolutely fantastically.
Yeah, I think because they behaved and played like a team. It was like 11 players in the defensive phase. I think because most of the time Spain is in the final third of the opposition or on the opposition half, so it's easier to press in advance straight after you lose the ball. The positioning are very good, so it doesn't allow counterattacks or breaks against them, and that helps them a lot. But it's the work rate of the whole team, absolutely. The goalkeeper didn't have to do much, and that's many thanks to everyone who had a very strong work ethic yesterday. I understood perfectly that you have to be very quick and very aggressive and with a lot of work in defense as a collective when you don't have first line defenders, so to speak. On paper, when you look at it, afterwards, when you say performance, you would say that Cubarsí was fantastic and the whole defense was fantastic. But I think it was more as a team effort as well.
Yeah. Pep, Spain have won 2 World Cups and 3 European Championships since 2008. Spanish teams have won 9 Champions Leagues and 9 Europa Leagues in that time. Spanish coaches won the Champions League, Europa League, Liga and Premier League last season. Total dominance. Why are the Spanish coaches dominating football and Spain dominating football as well?
I think that I work as a director of the coaches school here in 2006. And I saw a huge change because remember before the 2000, Spain was never achieving nothing in the football. But I remember the FA putting a lot of work on developing coaches for the future, developing the next generation of talent who will develop the young players since they were really young. And I think that created, because they increased massively the amounts of hours that a coach needs to study to get the licenses, and they created a golden generation of coaches, and possibly that translates into every club, because if you develop better coaches, then you develop better players, you develop better clubs, you develop better chairmen, we put a lot of effort into that from the FA part from the 2000s. And afterwards, I think that most of the big clubs here in Spain helped a lot, massively developing the core of these talents. Barça, Madrid, even Villarreal. A lot of the Spanish clubs now they produce real talent that, of course, helps increase the level.
Pep, all that effort has been well worthwhile. Look, thank you very much, not just for today, but for joining us throughout the course of this World Cup.
Mate. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure all along. Thank you.
Thanks, Pep.
Thank you.
Brandon Harrogate this morning, how long are you lot going to go on about Tuchel? If you want him out, fine. We're going to go on about him for a while because the World Cup's only just finished.
Probably 4 weeks till the Premier League starts.
Yeah. As England supporters, some also have to think if we really do have the players to win the World Cup, way behind Spain. I don't think anybody, but nobody's arguing that we're behind Spain at the moment, Brad. We just want to see some improvement that takes us a bit closer.
What annoys me about that, though, are we behind them in a way of like how they play, of course. But have we got the players? Yes, we have. So you can't say that we haven't got the DNA and we can't play the football and we can't keep the ball. Yes, we can. We see it week in, week out in the Premier League. We see these superstars. How many £100 million players have we got in our squad?
Yeah.
Wharton loves to receive it and play through the lines. So does Mainu. Look at Saka's goal, one of the goals Saka scored against France. Yeah. Eze comes and receives it under pressure. Nice little pass into Saka. Goal. Come on. We can play.
Just one quick anonymous text. He says, along with Qatar, this has been the best World Cup for me. No grappling at corners, VAR used properly, and really good referees. Jeff is such an old, I won't use the word. But, you know, I would appear old to you when you're just 6 years of age, obviously. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the future and which international teams outside of Spain are set up best for the next set of tournaments. That's next. We've been talking all morning about Thomas Tuchel. We've been talking all week about him and the fact that he's questioned England's DNA, whatever that may be. He said, I think ball possession plays a crucial role. It's maybe not in our DNA as it is in the Spanish or Brazilian or Argentinian DNA. To take the ball and control the game and the ball, which is a big problem. What do you make of that, Ben?
Watching the Spain game the other night against France, that's how you keep the ball. And I think it comes down to bravery. We've got the players to do it, we've got the ability to do it, but it comes down to bravery. And I think once them England players put that shirt on, when it comes to the crunch moments, that's the bit that is lacking a little bit. We've definitely got the ability to do it. We've got the players to be able to do it. You watch Spain, and when they went 2-0 up, even when they were 1-0 up, they just kept doing it. You've got Fabian Ruiz and Rodri in the central midfield. At one point, they're playing two-touch over the French midfield. They're keeping the ball nice and calm.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, 20 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday, July the 20th. This is talkFootball Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor, being reported that Ipswich have agreed to sign Issa Diop from Fulham for a fee of £10 million.
Signing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
decent.
played for Morocco in the World Cup, didn't he?
And he did okay.
Yeah,
He
good
did okay.
signing, yep.
And it's not an outrageous fee. And
Nope.
he's got Premier
Yep.
League experience. Now, England against France led to further questions about Thomas Tuchel's tactics against Argentina. And if it couldn't get more embarrassing for the England manager, I think it's about to. The US President Donald Trump had a little dig at the approach against Argentina with his mate Gianni Infantino giggling next to him.
You have a great player in England who I played golf with, you know that, right? And he is Harry, who's been fantastic. I think they perhaps made a mistake when they made him a defensive player. What do I know about soccer? they took the league and they took their best player and then put him on defense. Then somehow, no, we got to be a little offensive, right? But no, I'm not going to call it. Look, what do I know about coaching? But that was a little unusual. But Harry is a great guy, actually.
Even Donald knows. Get Donald. Get him on the bench. Thomas, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't put Harry back there.
Yeah.
Get Donald Trump on the bench. Donald knows his football. Well done, Donald. Dear Lord.
Yeah. I'm just going to move on from that.
Give it to Donald to the next tournament.
8:22. Let's get the latest odds with Coral and Dave Stevens.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Celebrating 100 years of rewarding the fans. We're here for glorious Goodwood. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleware.org.
Steve-O, good morning to you.
Morning.
Jeff, Gabby, I was actually waking up this morning thinking, what am I going to do without any football for the first time in 40 days? And then I saw that clip of Trump. And Johnny Infantino, who couldn't be any further up his...
Incredible, isn't it?
Now I'm actually relieved it's over. And I think I shared the relief of everyone outside of Argentina last night in willing Spain home.
Yes.
I mean, never mind Arsenal being anti-football, Gab.
Wow.
The one thing I would say about that is, and we saw it against England, Argentina have the players to play good football.
Yes.
There's no question. And only when they went behind against England did they start playing football. Last night, with minutes to go, they had to start playing.
Do you know what it is, though, Steve-O? They know defensively. They opened up from the start against Spain. That it could have been 4, 5, 6, couldn't it? That's why they do it. They know they're not great defensively.
But I mean, fortunately, as I say, the end result was the same. They lost.
Yeah.
And that meant that football finally was the winner.
Yes.
Well done to Spain. I mean, look, their performance against France in the semi-final was the performance of the tournament, I think, for many people.
What were they before the tournament, Steve-O? Do you remember?
Spain.
Yeah,
they were 9-2 second favourites.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, France were favourites. Then it was Spain. Then it was England. Then you had Brazil and Argentina. So look, in many ways, you can say the tournament went to plan. The top 4 seeds were in the last 4. But actually, I think our fear as bookmakers going into this, there'd be loads of one-sided games in the group stage. And actually, there weren't. You mentioned Cape Verde. There were enough results to make it interesting throughout the tournament. And I suppose, as always in this world, Jeff, we're looking forward to the Euros on British and Irish soil in 2 years, sorry. Spain and France, joint favourites, 4-1. And I don't think we can argue with that. And then it's England at 9-2. And any appetite at all, Gabby?
No. Over to you, Jeff.
Well, home advantage is a massive advantage. It's a massive advantage in all of these tournaments. So I would say that would definitely give us a squeak.
Yes.
But
as long as the manager's learnt from his mistakes against Argentina.
Yeah, my other concern is Harry Kane is 2 years old. I mean, everybody's 2 years old, obviously. Yeah. But, unless we freshen it up, potentially an ageing side out there. Look, we have the players that we didn't take, like Adam Wharton, like Cole Palmer, who could bring that edge down. 9-2, pretty skinny for me, though, Steve-O.
Yeah, look, it will be no surprise, and I say we are looking 2 years ahead. They'll be there or thereabouts, I'm sure.
Yes.
Last 4 final, but say home advantage. And then, of course, we've got the spectre of 2030 World Cup, where just about every nation will be there. We've got an office down in Gibraltar. I know they're already looking forward to playing in the World Cup in 4 years' time. But it's a similar sort of story. Spain, this is going to be, well, some of it's going to be on Spanish soil, isn't it? Is this Portugal, Morocco and Spain?
Yeah.
Spain 9-2 favourites, and you look at their young team. I think Laporte is the only one over 30 at the moment.
Yes.
France are in there at 6-1. England are in there at 7-1. So again, look, we've got the players that we should be competing for these tournaments, but Jeff, now the dust has sort of settled on Wednesday. I mean, I sounds a terribly morbid thing to say. Do you think in your lifetime you'll ever see England win a major tournament? I hope there are many, many years to come, obviously. But seriously, I question whether I will. I mean, well,
so do I.
Steve, I'm not feeling too well this morning, actually, mate. So, do I think they win a major tournament? Yeah, we could. I wouldn't put it beyond us to win the Euros. I really wouldn't. But to win a World Cup. Look, I'm lucky enough I can remember, watching us win the World Cup in 1966. So I feel myself very fortunate in that sense. Will I be watching us win another World Cup? I extremely doubt it.
Yeah, it's that same feeling of just coming up short. But we can take a break now. Gab, how are you for Aston Villa? What's going on? Every bit of transfer news I hear at the moment on talkSPORT is Villa losing yet another star player. Well, I genuinely, I'm not trying to wind you up.
Of course.
I had you down at the end of last season as potentially Arsenal's biggest challenger. How? City new manager, Liverpool new manager, Chelsea, Barcelona.
You say that. If the rules were fair for everybody, I'd agree with you. If we didn't have to sell players because of the financial fair play rules, like Rodgers, our owners want to go again. Our owners have got money to spend, but we can't. If we would be able to go again and spend 200 million this summer and not lose any players, maybe we could.
I look. I hear what you're saying. I find it, it's so depressing actually on your behalf, on Villa's behalf. But why do Aston Villa and Newcastle seem to care about the rules and the other clubs don't?
Steve-O, how are you pricing up the Premier League then at the moment?
Well, Arsenal are 6-4 favourites, Jeff, and I understand that. But they're coming out of the World Cup with some of their players.
Saliba, 5 months. Injury.
Saliba, I mean, played so brilliantly with a back injury. Man City 100-30, but look at the players they're going to lose. And obviously they've lost Pep. Liverpool new manager 11-2. Can United kick on 6-1? And then it's Chelsea in there at 10-1. Villa 25-1. But genuinely, I thought if Villa could build on last season, they could actually be pushing for that title. But
the rules don't allow, Steve. They want Villa in their place, Newcastle in their place. They want
not get on to your old mate, Johnny Infantino.
Exactly.
Gab, help.
If only Johnny, my mate, could sort it out.
Steve-O, thanks very much, mate.
Up, man, Steve-O.
Cheers, fellas.
And that was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18 plus gambleaware.org. Roger has texted, that was without doubt the worst World Cup tournament in history and the worst final in living memory. This generation of players has proven again to be the worst in football history. Thank you very much indeed, Roger. Not a fan. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to England and what we learned of this tournament and focus more on Bukayo Saka and why on earth he didn't feature against Argentina.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with the Coral Rewards Shaker. With 100k of free bets available online this Tuesday and Friday. We're here for glorious Goodwood. 18 plus, max 1 reward per day. Reward restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
Who would have even dreamt that 6-4 would be the scoreline in
a madness?
The third and fourth place game.
A 10-goal quote-unquote thriller, an absolute candy floss
and
of a game
the
of
chances
football
that were missed as well.
Oh, I watched it live last night, and I went back over. My notes from when I'm watching a game are often an absolute madness when I read back over them. And I'm like,
are you on little bits of paper or is it a big sheet?
No, I actually, weirdly, I WhatsApp them to myself. So I write them in my phone as I'm watching and as there's breaks in play, etc. And one of the things I wrote is England could have scored 6 in the first half. France could have scored 9 in the second half.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a absolute madness of a game of football. But is it one you take in any way seriously?
Well, it's hard to... Could you imagine that game and that result being in the tournament as a semi-final game?
Absolutely not.
That's just not going to happen. So I mean, watching the performance with England against, Argentina, we talked a lot about it.
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters, but it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the taxman at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something, because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor, here with Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Darren says, wake up everyone. England won't win a Euros or World Cup without a player of the talent or passion of Gaza. None of these players are even close. Stop overhyping them.
Wow.
Well,
I think Bellingham showed a lot of passion. A lot of the players did.
Yeah. And by the way, one thing I would say about the Saturday night Soccer Aid game was that Bellingham's final goal was absolutely fantastic. It was fantastic.
Lacroix's transfer fee, I think it depreciated 20 million after getting chopped. Fantastic goal.
So Saturday night, England's star of the present and the future, the man we're just talking about, sealed a meaningless victory in Miami live on talkSPORT.
And it breaks for Bellingham, and Bellingham now can charge forward away from Upamecano. Lacroix will try and hold him up. Bellingham, though, takes it on the outside, comes in field. Brilliant from Bellingham. Oh, wonderful from Jude Bellingham. That is why he is one of the best in the world.
And I think he's definitely shown that during the course of this tournament, no doubt about that. So what might have been had Thomas Tuchel not got his tactics so wrong last Wednesday, but which players have let themselves down at this World Cup? Troy Deeney gave his thoughts on that this weekend.
Nico O'Reilly was really poor, considering how much of a wonderful season he's had. I wasn't sold on the old Dan Burn is this cult hero. Wins one header against Norway, steps over someone, give him a knighthood. I thought Elliot Anderson was bang average as well. Madueke, terrible. Left-hand side, Rashford, again, average at best. Gordon, average at best. £80 million to Barcelona. Did you Did that warrant any game warrant that besides Jude Bellingham? And I'll go as far as Jed Spence for the last 2 performances. For everybody else was left a lot out there where you started to question, are you as good as we really think?
Don't agree with some of that. I thought Nico O'Reilly had a decent tournament. I thought Anthony Gordon was one of those players who actually came out with some credit.
Yeah. I think Gordon was he was good some games, then bad some games, wasn't he? Some games he was positive, then some games he wasn't taking his player on. A lot of players could have done a lot better, but I think Troy's being probably a bit too harsh on some of them.
Yeah. And it's someone like Marcus Rashford. Well, Marcus got virtually no minutes.
Yeah, and the problem with Rashford is when he did get minutes, he didn't perform. That's why Gordon was playing. I think a lot of players will look back, Jeff, and say, I could have done better. Apart from Spence, I agree. Certain performances from Spence were fantastic. Pickford, fantastic at times. Also, I think Konsa, he's got to take a lot of credit out of the tournament. I think he was immense at times. And Anderson, I was really impressed with Anderson. I think it took him a couple of games to get into it. I think his performances after that were very good. And Harry Kane at times was fantastic, but at times was non-existent in the game. And then Jude Bellingham, 7 goals, our standout player.
Yeah. Oh, no question.
Incredible. Yeah.
Look, we've been talking a lot about the 3rd, 4th place playoff. Let's bring in someone who played in another of England's 3rd place playoffs. They were beaten in Italia 90. It's the former Liverpool midfielder, Steve McMahon. Morning to you, Steve.
Morning, Steve.
Morning, boys. How are you doing?
Yeah. Do you remember that 3rd place playoff game?
I remember it very well. I just wanted to be home.
I bet you did. I bet you did. Because obviously it was you'd lost the penalty shootout against Germany, hadn't you, in the semi-final? I'm sure all the boys must have been desperate to go home.
Oh, it was ridiculous, and I still think it is, even to this day and age, with all the changes that they make, both on and off the pitch. 3rd and 4th playoff is the last thing players want to do. By the way, the 2 teams get bronze medals anyway. So
right.
It's the 4th place team doesn't go away with nothing. We didn't. We come away with a bronze medal. So after that time, when you're not, when you haven't qualified for the final, you just said, see you later, get home as soon as you can, go and see your family, have a rest. You don't want to be stuck there. It's the last thing you want to do.
Steve,
as a player.
I think you've seen that, didn't you, in the first half from France? And then obviously they must have got a rollicking at half time and they were better, but they didn't want to be there, did they?
No, they didn't. And to be honest, probably all the England players didn't want to be there, but you're there, and obviously you go through it. And you're right, it was a farce, I thought, first half, France-England game. But, you finish the tournament off best you can, and it only goes down in history as the best since the World Cup, because officially it's 3rd. And that's the only thing that the England players can actually say when they get back to these shows as well. We finished 3rd.
Yeah. Have you still got your bronze medal?
I have, mate. Yeah. Absolutely.
So do you think the players who played in this game then will actually treasure those medals?
Well, mine's in the loft.
Right.
so I haven't treasured it that much. I think you go there, you want to win. England went there with 1 goal, and that was to win. And I'm sick and tired of saying, we had a great World Cup and we come 3rd. Well, he didn't really. It was a failure. We went there with Tuchel, and everyone thought this is why we've got Tuchel, is to have a chance. If we get a chance, and we have a chance, we can get over the line. And we didn't do that. It was a poor failure.
Steve, a lot of people have said similar things, and there's been a few that have gone the opposite way. What did you make of the tactics from the manager in the Argentina game?
Very poor. Very poor. I mean, we don't want to go over all ground, but I'm on a show, and you're asking me the question, and I was gobsmacked when I was watching it, thinking, how on earth are you reverting to these tactics? They're archaic. They were like going back in time, and it was beyond me. And I think the writing was on the wall. If you look at it, Norway, we didn't play well. I think Norway, arguably, just probably edged it, in my humble opinion. And the little banter that went on afterwards with Tuchel and Bellingham, which they weren't singing off the same hymn sheet. The bells were ringing there. And then, obviously, the semi-final, which was poor all round. And I don't know I don't know how you can explain it. So you're putting 6 defenders on at one stage, and you're supposed to keep possession. I think it adds insult to injury the way Argentina performed against Spain.
Mm-hmm.
It was embarrassing. They were there for the taking. Argentina were there for the taking. They were no great shakes. And if we'd have just gone out and took a bit of a chance, left a bit of pace on our front, added a bit of pace on our front, you can still be defensive-minded. You don't have to have 6 defenders on to be defensive-minded. You just have to play the right way. Put balls into channels, but you can't put balls into channels if you haven't got pace to keep it there.
Exactly.
And that's what we needed to do, spread the play, push up, and leave your high lines.
And I'm not sure, Steve, that Bukayo Saka has done his manager any favours when he says, I was fit, I wanted to play more.
Correct. I mean, I always wanted to see Rashford more, you know. I just think from the start of the tournament, he looked hungry, that guy. He was there 2 weeks before everybody else. He was fit. He was ready to go. He wanted to prove a point to a lot of people. His contract's up for grabs. He's looking for a new club. He was there waiting. He was hungry. You could see he was hungry. And he never got a sniff. You know, and Saka, obviously, when he comes up and says, no, I'm fit, that's a worrying sign. You know, and he shoehorned Rodgers in the end of the day. Although Rodgers is a great player. Is there a need against you, always, and the group stages to play Ellison and Declan Rice together? Can't you change it up in that way and look at an attacking side of it? But no, we stuck to them 3 in midfield right throughout the tournament, basically.
Steve, look, brilliant. Appreciate you. Appreciate you joining us. Go and find that bronze medal from the loft, mate.
I'll dust it down. I'll show you.
Thank you, Steve.
Good lad. Thank you very much
guys.
indeed.
Well done. Good show.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. Mark's text is, personally, as soon as we want 1-0 up, Kane and Rodgers should have been off for Saka and Rashford and counter-attacking. Mark's a Manchester United fan. And I think many people would agree with that. Steve in Surrey Hills says, desperate to go home. The squad are there to do a job to the end for the fans. Typical lightweight mentality. We want to get home to the family. What a soap opera. Yeah, I sort of get that, Steve, but that's just an indication of how meaningless that 3rd and 4th place game is. And that is why Steve McMahon's medal from 1990 is in his loft,
100%.
gathering dust. And
Jeff,
I think a lot of these bronze medals will do the same.
Runners-up medals, who really keeps them? I remember runners-up twice in my career. One time I was runners-up and the medal didn't even make it to the changing room.
Yeah.
I threw it on the stairs down from Wembley. I threw it. I didn't want it. Like, don't tell me that the players are going to be happy with a bronze medal taken home.
Big thanks to the former England and Liverpool midfielder Steve McMahon there. Still to come on Breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
So the World Cup's over. Gabby will give us his team of the tournament just after 9 this morning, and we'll continue to take your calls on the World Cup final. Do you agree with Adrian Durham on this?
They're an embarrassment to football. If it had been an embarrassment for all but 20 minutes of the England game, of course they had to turn it on against England to win. But honestly, the regrets for England will be massive after this final. They will wonder how on earth they let Argentina beat them.
So were Argentina an embarrassment? Are they the world's sorest losers after the scenes at the full-time whistle? 03717 223344 is the number to ring to have your say. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
I wonder whether he went back, muscle memory, whether he's gone back to what happened against Mexico, where we dealt with 5 at the back and they threw things at. But this ain't Mexico.
There's 20 minutes left.
It's
20 minutes of normal time, Jace.
It's more than that.
And we had a man sent off against Mexico. You could almost accept it.
I know.
You're playing against Argentina. Yeah. You can't sit off for 25 minutes against Argentina. He absolutely bottled it. Thomas Tuchel's cost us the World Cup. He cost us the World Cup. We're 1-0 up. Played well first half. All right, cagey affair. We go 1-0 up. Be brave. Be brave, Thomas. This is what we brought you in for. We brought you in for this moment. We got rid of Southgate because he bottled it, because he weren't brave. We brought you in for now to make that decision. We're 1-0 up in a World Cup.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Gabby Agbonlahor is with me. And I've got a text here that said, not interested anymore discussing the World Cup. It's gone. Looking forward to the start of the Premier League, which I think is going to be fantastic this season, far more interesting. And that's from Rich in Southampton. Rich, have you not heard? You didn't know. Championship season for Southampton.
Maybe he's got 2 teams.
You can't. Oh, 2 teams. Don't go there. Don't get me started on people who've got 2 teams. Headlines this Monday morning. Arsenal are reportedly set for a shock swoop for the former Manchester City defender John Stones, who's now a free agent. Of course, he worked with Mikel Arteta at Man City. Could you see that happening, Gavin?
I could see it, yeah. But I think with Stones, does he not want to try, like, maybe another league, Jeff? Could you go to a team in France? Could you go to a Marseille? Could you go to Germany? Would a slower football there suit him? Yeah. Because as much as he's done well in the World Cup, like, yeah, I'm not sure, Jeff. I'm not sure. I'll leave the Premier League if all Stones.
Yeah. And you feel if he does go there, he's only going to be there while Saliba's injury is
exactly.
clear.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got his own injury problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't bring in someone to replace someone injured who's got injury issues himself over his career.
Argentina manager Lionel Scaloni left his post-match news conference in tears when talking about his future after Sunday's World Cup defeat by Spain. His contract expires in December. As for Spain, they're world champions for the first time since 2010. Match winner Ferran Torres explained his feeling as the ball fell to him.
Honestly, I can't believe it. I just try to enjoy, but I don't know what's happening. Honestly, I didn't think too much. I just saw the ball coming to me, and I just shoot with the power of all the Spanish people.
Well, he'd been a bit part player, hadn't he? Until the final, comes on as a substitute, scores once, and he's been a hair's breadth of a second as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he does that a lot, Jeff. If you look at his Barca career, even when Lewandowski was starting, he'd come on and he'd score and he'd impress and maybe start the next game and not do it. But what a player to be able to bring off the bench. He's the closest that they probably got to David Villa that they used to have. Good finisher, good movement in behind as well. Yeah, I think he's a very good player.
And by the way, I've got a message for you really here from Pompey Adam. Who's a regular contributor. Says, morning, boys. As another marathon of a World Cup comes to an end in heartbreak, spare a thought for Gabby, who seems to be on duty every day and must be looking forward to the next one with 64 teams in the final as we move to a 2-month tournament.
I'll be sacked by then, don't worry.
It's time for a well-earned rest,
Yes,
Gabby.
definitely.
Which you're going to have very
I am, yes. Looking forward to it.
Right, time to look back at all the golf from the Open at the weekend with Prostate Cancer UK.
Open Championship review on talkSPORT with Prostate Cancer UK. Take on 72 holes of golf in one epic day and help save lives with every swing. Search the Big Golf Race now.
Brilliant win for New Zealand's Ryan Fox, who finished 10 under par, edging out Cam Young at Royal Birkdale.
Ryan Fox steps in to win the Open.
Yes, he has done it! Ryan Fox birdies the last, and he wins the 154th Open at Royal Birkdale.
I wasn't in the major championships consistently until the last couple of years, so yeah, to be sitting in front of you guys now as the champion golfer of the year is a bit crazy. So I said earlier, surreal. I don't have the vocabulary to explain it.
New Zealand's second ever major championship winner for a man who didn't turn pro until he was 25. He's played in 28 majors and never come close to winning in the past. I'm delighted to say joining us now, 4-time major championship winner Dame Laura Davis, who's at Royal Birkdale all week. Morning, Laura.
Morning, Laura.
Morning. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby.
I tell you what, Laura, I think, bearing in mind that not many Europeans were in the picture for certainly the last couple of days of the weekend as well, probably Tommy Fleetwood accepted, the crowd were rooting for Ryan Fox.
Yeah, trying to bring him home, weren't they? I mean, it's once Tommy had made those 3 bogeys round the turn, I think the writing was on the wall for him, although he still finished 4th, which for him, brilliant week considering all the pressure he was under. But yeah, Ryan Fox, when he stood on that 13th tee and hit driver where everyone else was just leaving themselves over 200, he left himself a little 114-yarder and he knocked it close enough to make the birdie. And you just thought at that point, oh, this guy's trying to win it, not trying to not lose it. So everyone got on his bandwagon. Obviously, Cam was in the clubhouse. He'd been in the clubhouse for at least 2 hours before the final group came down the 18th. But heartbreak for him, but not a nicer man will you ever meet than Ryan Fox, and a great winner.
Laura, do you think Tommy Fleetwood will leave the tournament with any regrets?
No, I think he gave it absolutely everything. I think those 3 bogeys, he hit a really good tee shot on 9 and then just flew the green, pitched it way too far up the green. If he would want one shot back, it would be his second shot into 9, and then of course he bogeyed the next 2 holes because you're trying at that point. You can't afford bogeys because that number in the clubhouse is set at 9 under, and you can't afford mistakes. And I don't think I have any regrets. He did so well, and the crowd. Sometimes when you're playing at home, and football is, you guys have the same thing. But when we get to the Open or the British Masters, the crowd always has that different feel. So he stepped up to the mark and gave everyone a terrific week. So no regrets from me, and I'm sure he'll be happy with his 4th. But just think what could have been maybe.
Yeah, look, it was a crowd-pleasing finish from Tommy, and he battled away all week, no doubt about that. And I completely concur. I've never met Ryan Fox, Laura, but I saw his interview with, I think it was Sarah Sturck, after the 62, and oh my goodness, what a nice, modest man he came over as. And at 39, he's an inspiration for those sportsmen who are not in the first flush of youth.
No, absolutely. And as he just said, I just heard his interview there that you played. He wasn't a really regular player in major championships. And that's one of the things in majors, some guys get lucky. They'll win their first major and they think it's easy. But most players have to be in contention a few times because it's a different level of pressure and your mind gets a little bit spinny because it means so much to us golfers to win major championships. And he's been playing regularly now. I don't think he said himself, I don't think he's really ever been in contention that I can remember in the last 3-4 years. But just stepped up to the mark. And as you say, he's just one of those guys that's normal. We see so many sports people that possibly get ahead of themselves, is the way I'll put it. But Ryan Fox is not one of them. I think he's good New Zealand stock, and his dad obviously an All Black. There's your grounding you'll ever need to have an All Black as your dad.
Laura, you're a legend of the game. I want your honest opinion. Is Bryson DeChambeau good for the sport?
When he's doing his normal stuff and playing top class golf, he's brilliant because you feel a buzz in the crowds. But he's just got this little edge to him that you just wish he wouldn't do it. And I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's almost a bit of a falseness when he was walking down 18 on Saturday after the controversy on Friday night. I don't know. I just wish the guy would just be a sportsman and not a YouTuber, because his talent is absolutely undoubted. And when you stand on the range behind him and watch him, it's a little bit different. I mean, it's even more powerful than Rory McIlroy, which is saying something.
Yeah. And I take your point completely, Laura, but, I would want to watch him. I'd be wanting to go round with him because he's a sort of cartoon villain, isn't he, in some respects? But he is wonderful to watch. Disappointing for Rory. I think it looked, I mentioned it earlier, it looked like I'd been teaching him to putt.
Yeah, I mean, links greens are funny. They're different. These guys play on these really quick surfaces all year on the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. And then links greens are a little bit slower. And I always think, Rory, when he has fast greens, he seems to just stroke them in and they just fall in at a nice pace. And every time this week, he got himself a couple of birdies or a birdie on a difficult hole. You thought, right, here we go. And then he made a bogey. And he just never got started. But, he gave it absolutely everything and he takes the biggest galleries round. I tried to go out there and watch him yesterday morning because I thought that he's going to put in a low number early and possibly post something like a Cam Young did, but couldn't get near him. It's unbelievable. But the buzz around and the people and the kids are running along just to get a glimpse of him. It's great fun.
Yeah, brilliant. I loved it. I thought it was a smashing open, Laura. Really appreciate you taking the time this morning.
Yes, thank you, Laura.
No problem. Thank you.
Four-time major winner Dame Laura Davis there. That was a look back at the US Open with Prostate Cancer UK. Sign up to the Big Golf Race Challenge, and if you raise over £300, you'll be entered into their prize draw to win a golfing holiday to Aphrodite Hills in Cyprus for you and three mates. Very nice. So just search Big Golf Race for all the details and T's and C's. Sai says, how entitled are English fans and English media, Jeff? Of course they'll be disappointed not to win the World Cup, but to say, does third have any value is crazy. Most people don't make being a pro footballer just to play for England in a World Cup is valuable. Simon, you're completely correct. The point we're trying to make really is that you're absolutely right. It's a wonderful achievement to play in a World Cup. We're just about a third and fourth place match. Not having any relevance. None of the players wanting to stay on because they've given everything. They've given absolutely everything.
In 15 years' time, they're not going to be like, I finished third in the World Cup. Yeah. No one's going to say that.
No.
That's what we mean.
That's the point. Certainly not having a dig at the players. God, I could have only dreamt of being a professional footballer at any level. Coming up, we turn our attention back to the World Cup final, as many have been left fuming by the way Argentina approached the match and the way it reacted after the defeat as well. If you want to have your say, 03717223344 is the number to call. We'll discuss that next.
Open Championship review on talkSPORT with Prostate Cancer UK. Raise money, win prizes, and help save men's lives with every swing. Search the Big Golf Race now.
Now, we get the inevitable fallout after a World Cup, and there are reports that one or two of the England players were very surprised that we went ultra defensive in that closing stage of the game. And we were saying earlier on to Stan Collymore that there's a lot of making up to be done by Thomas Tuchel. A lot of people now would have lost trust and belief maybe in his methods, and that would include fans, it would include media, and he's going to have a very prickly time with the media.
Life after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Yeah, good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. With me, the former England and Aston Villa striker Gabby Agbonlahor. We're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Here's an interesting text from George from Bexley Heath, who's come up with a different angle on third and fourth place playoff. Don't know if anybody's mentioned this. This is a no-brainer, he says. The team who finishes third in the World Cup should automatically qualify for the next World Cup.
Does it matter when you look at the qualifying games that we have to play?
Well, this is true. This is true. I mean, it's going to be difficult not
San Marino, Faroe Islands, Albania, we'll be fine, don't worry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. Angelo says, still can't understand why Kobe didn't get a single minute at the World Cup. Unbelievable. Apparently suffering from a sharp pain, which cost him his chance of playing in that third and fourth playoff. Finally couldn't make it up, could you? Another one here says, third place playoff. It said, it's knockout football. When you're out, you go home. So it wasn't the thriller of past years, but the World Cup came to its conclusion last night with not only a win for Spain, but also for football.
The first between European and South American champions.
You almost fear for Spain. They've had all this possession.
Well, no team ever in World Cup history has failed to have a single shot in the final. Argentina came here hoping to make history. Is that the history that they're going to be making?
Spain are coming forward now.
With another right-footed effort, and Emi Martinez gets on the end of that and is able to beat it away. Poor challenge comes in, and a yellow card is shown. It's off. Enzo Fernandez dismissed, but half an hour of extra time to go.
Terrible. How on earth did England lose to this rabble?
Headed down, edge of the 6-yard box, blazed into the roof of the net. Ferran Torres with a goal that may well win the World Cup for Spain.
Try to enjoy, but I don't know what's happening.
De La Fuente with this extraordinary record. It's his 50th game in charge of Spain. He's never lost one in a tournament.
Today, I think the best moment in my life.
And they are champions of the world.
Literally, this is the best team here. I don't think anyone can have any regrets.
The winning captain, Rodri, the player of the tournament, lifts it high. It's Spain's year. Worthy champions.
Yeah, brilliant for Spain, deserving winners as well. Argentina failing to register a single shot on target in the entire 90 minutes of normal time. First side ever to do that in a World Cup final. And just for context, Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde both managed to trouble Unai Simon more within the 90 minutes of their games. Adrian Durham did not hold back on his assessment of the South Americans after the match.
They're an embarrassment to football. If it had been an embarrassment for all but 20 minutes of the England game, of course they had to turn it on against England to win. But honestly, the regrets for England will be massive after this final. They will wonder how on earth they let Argentina beat them. I'm not saying England would have gone on to beat Spain in the final. Spain are good. They just didn't put enough chances away until that Ferran Torres slam into the roof of the net in extra time. Spared us penalties, spared us the pain of Argentina cheating their way to a World Cup win.
It's an approach that's sort of impossible to understand, really, Gabby, isn't it? Because they have got talented players.
They have, but they were scared, Jeff. They really was. They probably look at Tagliafico and look at Montiel and Molina, whoever plays on that right-hand side, and probably say, you know what, they're not the greatest, so we have to give them help. And that's what they did yesterday. If they had opened up, maybe it would have been Lamine Yamal 1v1, absolutely ripping the life of Tagliafico. They wanted it to be a battle. They wanted it to be ugly. And that's on the manager. The manager's going to have a lot of questions to ask of those tactics. If it worked, they'd say, oh, the Argentina have got a fight, determination. That's how their winners win. But when it doesn't work, and like it looked yesterday, it was a shocking performance. How many people paid £20,000 for a ticket? £1,000, £500, £15,000 for a ticket? I wasn't jealous of not being there. Was you, Jeff?
No.
You come out of that game and you're like, wow, I wanted to come and see Messi. Messi didn't play. Argentina didn't try and play. Fair play to Spain. They kept on going. They played their stuff and nice little 1-2s and one-touch passing. And finally, they get the goal that they deserve.
Yeah. And it's okay to show fight and desire and passion, but there is a line that you should not overstep. And they overstepped it communally numerous times.
Got to be a long ban.
Yeah.
Jeff, if you look at it, Jeff, if you watch it back 5 or 6 times, Paredes, what we say, on Garcia, he grabs his neck, and the way Garcia's after the game, Garcia's neck jolts. That's assault.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, it's assault.
Like you, Stuart Pearce believes that the Argentinian midfielder needs an incredibly strong punishment.
But you've got to say, and just to back up exactly what you've just said there, sometimes in life and in football, what goes round comes round. And that's exactly what's happened to Argentina today. And I'm sure FIFA will see the punch that was thrown at the end of the game, and obviously they were quite happy to extend a 6-game ban for a Qatari player. And I'm sure when they see a punch like that, it will probably warranty a 20-game ban. I'm sure FIFA will be right on top of this, Abe.
Yeah. Well, they should be, because something's got to be done to stop.
You want to feel
things
safe
like
on the pitch,
that.
don't you, Jeff? Do you know what I mean? You can't let the punishment has to be that big that no one ever does that.
It is assault. You got it absolutely
No
right.
matter what happens in football, you can be angry you lost, but be classy in defeat.
Yeah.
Don't like. Do you know what I mean? If you want to fight, Paredes, there's places to fight. Not on a pitch against a Garcia. The way he was manhandling, I think it was Gabby, 21-year-old kid, and you're throwing him around on the pitch. That's someone's son, someone's brother.
Yeah.
Disgraceful. I'll ban him from the whole next tournament if I had my way.
I mean,
Howard.
They were shameless, classless thugs.
Yes.
During the game and after the game as well. Look, away from the Argentinians, let's focus on what's been good at the tournament. So, Gabby, you've done your team of the tournament, haven't you? Let's have it.
Yeah, it's been difficult in certain positions to choose players, but I think the goalkeeper, there's been some good goalkeeping performances, Jeff. I have to give it to Cape Verde goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I just feel that,
Zinha.
2 clean sheets, 5 goals conceded, clean sheet against Spain, who went on to win the tournament. That just shows how good of a performance it was. 7 crucial saves, the second most by a goalkeeper, 840 or over in a single World Cup match since 1966. The 7 saves against Argentina as well. Fantastic tournament. And he got himself a load of Instagram followers. Hopefully
brilliant.
that brings in some money as well for him as well. But those are the stories that you want to see, and I'm so happy for all the Cape Verde, because I was quite harsh maybe before the tournament. I said 7-0 Spain, and they made me pay for that on my socials. But Vozinha, I think, definitely deserves goalkeeper of the tournament.
Yeah.
And then, Jeff, the back four is a Spain back four. It's quite simple as
All
that.
of them?
Yeah, all of them. I thought Hakimi done very well this tournament. When I look at Pedro Porro, I mean, I've been a big critic of him at Spurs, and a lot of people have, but I think he was fantastic. Took his goal great against France. But even 1v1, he showed passion, determination. Some of his passing last night was outstanding. Cucurella, apart from maybe Mendes at PSG, I'll probably say he's up there. One of the best left-backs in the world. 1v1, no problem against Elise and Dembele. Again last night, nothing gets past him. He's good on the ball. There's a reason why Real Madrid signed him. Kabasi, 19 years of age. I'm honest as well, Jeff. I looked at the back two of Kabasi and Laporte and thought, you can get at them. You can get at them. And maybe we get things wrong, but how they played in the tournament to concede 1 goal is incredible. And playing out from the back, as much as they were fantastic defensively, just extra player. When you watch them, Jeff, like they can both play. There's a reason why the manager left Housen at home.
Yeah.
Real Madrid starting centre half. He left at home because he trusted his 2 centre halves.
So who's in your midfield then?
So centre midfield, Rodri for me, 30 years of age, went through a terrible knee injury. That was Ballon d'Or, Rodri. When you won the Ballon d'Or, those are the performances that we've seen. He's been not the same player since his injury, but when you speak to people that have done their ACL, Jeff, bad knee injuries, that's what happens. So any talk that we were having maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago, about Rodri's going to go now because Anderson's coming in. If you're a Man City fan, if you're Maresca, you're like, no, Rodri's starting and Anderson's starting with him, and maybe there's rotation during the season. Real Madrid will be looking at Rodri as well and thinking like, yeah, we'd love to have him. But he was fantastic. And alongside him in that midfield, Daniel Olmo, I think he was, we talk about, Jeff, like DNA, and we haven't got this DNA. Yes, we have. We've got players like Daniel Olmo, but Spain plays with his strengths. They got him into that number 10 position. It was behind the striker, receiving the ball, finding passes. I thought it was fantastic all through the tournament. Played 416 minutes as well, Jeff, in the tournament. 2 assists versus France and Saudi Arabia. Will probably be annoyed he didn't score, but what a player Barcelona have got in him. Also in that midfield, there, Jeff, Jude Bellingham. I mean, words can't describe how good he is. 7 goals, 1 assist, the most goals by an English player in a World Cup. Talk before the World Cup, and I'm honest, I will say, you know what? I'll start Rodgers maybe because of Bellingham's form after his injury during the end of the season, which was rightly so. But what he's proved to everyone, and maybe some idiot journalist that didn't want him there, is that he's a leader, he's a future captain, and he's done everything in that tournament to try and get us over the line. The manager cost us, even the way he dealt with the Argentinians gunning for him, Jeff, during the game. He dealt with it well. He walked off, he laughed, he didn't get booked. He didn't get anything stupid like maybe David Beckham done against Simeone. He learned from all that. I thought it was a credit to the English nation. Them front three speak for themselves, Jeff. Mbappe, 10 goals, 4 assists. Messi, 8 goals, 4 assists. And Haaland, 7 goals, 0 assists. I think they were fantastic. And it was a pleasure to see a World Cup where the top players turned up.
Brilliant. They certainly did, particularly the top forward players. I think one of the surprise packages of the entire tournament was, you mentioned him, Aymeric Laporte. You know, he's playing his football out in Saudi at the moment. And
yeah, I think he's at Bilbao now, isn't he? Is he at Bilbao now?
I don't know.
I think he moved to Bilbao last season. Yeah, he was at Al Nassr, wasn't he? But he moved to Athletic Bilbao, Athletic Club, whatever you call it.
He was just. I just thought he was absolutely exceptional.
32 as well, Jeff.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. A lot of Spanish players in there. No surprise there, because I think we'd all agree, best team in the tournament. Coming up, Alex Crook's back from his jolly up in the States to bring us the latest transfer news. We'll also turn our attention to talkSPORT, bringing you live coverage of the Commonwealth Games.
Up until 72 minutes, we were going to get into the World Cup. Oh, we weren't crap.
The goal was a wonderful ball from Morgan Rogers.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you to put your playing hat on now. Yeah. You're Argentina. Is that a good goal, or has they switched up at the back post?
That's a bad goal. You switched off. The right back, or was it the right back? Doesn't even react.
Why does that need to criticise a bad goal for England? It was a great goal. We went 1-0 up. It's a great cross.
It was a great cross.
Why can't you argue that Gordon lost his man to score the goal?
Because the geezer doesn't even see him.
Well,
he doesn't go
there must be a reason for that.
He doesn't run and go boom boom. He just runs and the guy's like, oh my man.
Troy, you can't criticise a goal that we scored.
I'm not criticising it. I'm saying we didn't play well. We had 5 shots in the whole game.
Yeah.
They had 5 on target. Remember, they don't call the 2 that hit the post on target.
Yeah, but
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning to you. It's 9:19, Monday, July the 20th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Now, the World Cup might be over. There's still plenty of sport coming right your way here on talkSPORT, including landmark coverage of the 2026 Commonwealth Games.
Kaylee Hodgkinson is the Olympic champion, queen of the track for Team GB.
She's just become Olympic champion.
Worked so hard for this, and to see it come together, me and my team.
Johnson Thompson may end up catching hold. She crosses the line now, and Katarina Johnson Thompson will finish in the silver.
I'm almost feeling a little bit emotional for her. The struggles that she has faced.
It just means everything to me. I just feel so lucky and so blessed.
It's Adam Peaty who touches first and wins it. There's a smile on his face. Right hook there, Verdi. Richardson comes back with a straight left hand, but again, Richardson trying to box behind that jab.
I don't even think we've seen the best of him yet.
Yeah, honoured to represent my country.
mandatory. And yeah, as I say, hopefully I've done that with, you know, humility in and out the ring.
Yeah, talkSPORT providing official radio coverage of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, after becoming the first UK commercial radio station to secure broadcasting rights. So Nat Sawyer will present the Commonwealth Games kick-off each evening from 7 o'clock across the talkSPORT network alongside Greg Rutherford, who won Commonwealth gold when Glasgow last hosted the event in 2014. Of course, Greg is also a 2012 Olympic gold medalist. I'm delighted to say he joins us now. Morning, Greg.
Morning, Greg.
Morning, guys. How are we going? You all right?
Morning,
yeah,
mate.
good. This must bring back some nice memories for you, Commonwealth Games in Glasgow.
Very much so, yeah. I'm really excited about being across it with talkSPORT. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Obviously, the last time I was there, it was to become Commonwealth champion, which was a really, really special time for me. It'd also been about 100 years on since my great-granddad had played for England against Scotland in the same stadium there. So it was a really, really special time. And it's much nicer, though, now to sit down, talk about it, rather than having to worry about jumping into the sandpit myself. So it's going to be a really special games again, I think.
Greg, it feels like British athletics needs some new stars. In 2012, we had yourself, Jess Ennis and Mo Farah. Who do we look out for, mate, in these games?
Well, there's going to be quite a few. I think the big thing, sadly, in a way, Keely Hodgkinson isn't going to be there. She's focusing on the European Championships, which takes place about 2 weeks after the Commonwealth Games. But I mean, I think the really, really big name, anybody who watch any of the athletics, I know the football has been taking most of the of people's time, but we had the London Diamond League at the weekend, and Josh Kerr broke the mile world record, which has been held since 1999. He was only one at the time when it was last set, and he's now broken it. And he's going to be at the comms for Scotland, and he's very much of the mindset of trying to break that record again, doing it on Scottish soil and creating an amazing moment for it. But on top of that, I mean, again, you're also going to have Jake Whiteman. He's going to be in there as well in that mile, which will be really, really special. So they'll be pushing each other. Amy Hunt in the 200 metres from Team England going to be there. But also Georgia Hunter-Bell as well, a fantastic middle distance runner who trains with Keely. She is, of course, a world silver medalist herself, and actually beat Keely indoors. So I think she's going to be one of the main headliners from an England athletics point of view. But what we always find with the Commonwealth Games as well, which I think is a really important thing for it, it's a chance for some athletes that maybe a lot of people have never heard of, have never seen before, to have their opportunity to come through. So there'll be names that not many of us have ever heard of at the moment who will come out the back end of the Commonwealth Games with their first major medal, and it leads as that springboard to push you forward onto the big majors such as the World Championships and the Olympics.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you mentioned Josh Kerr. Oh, he's nearly 29 now, isn't he? I read a quote from him after the Diamond League saying the body is pretty electric right now. I feel pretty incredible. And there's no doubt he's the star attraction. Won't have his own way, will he? Because Cameron Myers lines up as well, doesn't he? He was the fastest man in the world this year before the weekend.
Yeah, and this is going to be the big thing. I mean, look, Josh is a supremely talented, supremely confident individual, and he's a remarkably good athlete. I have no idea what it feels like to break a world record. I mean, that's something very special, which very few people ever get to do. But I can imagine that electric feeling, that buzz that would be sort of coursing through his system. And the big thing I think I always sort of found myself when doing well in competitions is that you're so desperate to get back out there, have that feeling again, and push yourself. So I imagine, as I say, with a predominantly Scottish crowd, he is going to be absolutely loving every minute of it, absolutely on fire the whole way round. But he will be pushed, and that's what's going to make it really exciting. But that also massively helps for trying to break records. If you've got other really, really fast individuals there with you, they're going to push you round. But I sort of have no doubt at the moment that he's going to be... he'll be in top form. He was talking as well about peaking at the right time, and that's exactly what he's doing now. The Commonwealth Games are always his major focus.
That was what I was going to ask you about, Greg. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I was going to ask you about is how long can an athlete stay at his peak for? Because I mean, you're not going to be there all season long. So is it like a window of opportunity?
It is, yes. Yeah, so all of your training, everything you've been doing builds up to that window. I mean, it's similar with what we've just seen with the World Cup, but it's slightly different from the point of view that they're all exhausted from a long season, but then they have to go into little training camps in order to try and let the body recover and then peak again for something like the World Cup. With the athletic side of things, because it's pretty much always, the indoors is important to a certain degree, but it's always about the outdoors in the summer. So all of the training builds towards these moments. So they would have known for the last couple of years exactly the date and day when they will be out there competing. So their training will work towards that. So you don't want to be in your best form in May, of course. So all of your training, as I say, it pushes you towards whenever that major is. Generally, you can hold it on for a couple of weeks. In 2014, during that Commonwealth Games, we also had the Europeans within about 2 weeks of it. And some of us managed to sort of peak twice, if you like, within 2 weeks and come away winning both. And that's what some of the athletes will be trying to do from track anyway. Obviously, from all the other sports that are there at the comms, this is their main focus for this season. So everything, training is the same, nutrition, diet, the whole lot leads towards this moment.
Greg, you said there that Keely Hodgkinson isn't going to be at the games. Isn't that disappointment though? Because she's so good and obviously one of the best in the world, for her to choose to miss this one out. Does that say something about the Commonwealth Games?
No, I think it says something because for Keely as well, one of her main rivals is going to be at the European Championship. So for her, I think she wants to see if she can be in her best form for that. And as we were just saying there, from the point of view of peaking, Keely's also had it quite difficult this season. She had a really nasty fall a few weeks back as well, picked up a bit of an injury, then ran on it in Oregon still, which I think maybe caused a few little issues for her. She did well at the weekend as well, winning in London. But I think for her, the Europeans is what she sees as the most difficult. And that's the one she wants to try and win. So again, it works differently for different people. But look, I still think, I know over the years, a lot of people have said the Commonwealth Games, it's, again, when we talk of the Commonwealth or we talk about these things, it's an old-fashioned thought process. But in actual fact, I think from the athlete's point of view, the Commonwealth Games are a hugely important thing. As I mentioned, from the point of view of a springboard going forwards, gives that opportunity to be in front of big crowds in big stadiums, really sort of understand and learn your craft a bit more, and use that experience to go into the other majors, as I say, and then hopefully do well. It's where I started, 2006 Melbourne Commonwealth Games. It was a massive eye-opener for me. It gave me that experience to push forward to something like London.
Yeah. Obviously, we all hope the Games is a massive success. I think because it is important for the future of the Games that this one is a success. Yes. Greg, brilliant. Thank you very much
Greg.
indeed for joining us.
To it, mate.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Greg.
I do love athletics, Jeff. I do.
Oh, so do I. And
honestly, mate.
You know what? The Commonwealth Games are...
The tactics.
I'm a bit ambivalent about it, but it has got some really great contests in it, you know, and not just Josh Kerr. I'm looking forward to seeing Georgia Hunter-Bell as well. I remember her just hunting down a silver medal, you know. What was it? The Olympics, the World Championships?
They are incredible,
terrific,
aren't they, Jeff?
You know, yeah.
Even when you see like Keely Hodgkinson when she runs and you try and put it on the treadmill and you see that people can last like 5-10 seconds and how long she's doing for that speed. Incredible athletes they are.
Hope the crowds turn up. Just hope the crowds
so,
turn up. In Glasgow. talkSPORT, your place to listen to this summer's Commonwealth Games. Our coverage begins this Friday at 7 with Natalie Sawyer, Greg Rutherford and Christina Harugu, and plenty of more star names. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the latest news from the transfer market and whether it's a statement of intent from Xabi Alonso that he's managed to sign Morgan Rogers for Chelsea.
If the 85th minute comes and we're still 1-up and we've been attacking and we've still created chances, but it hasn't quite gone in, but we're 1-up and Rashford's on the pitch, and Saka's on the
go on,
pitch.
keep going. And we're
the 85th minute, it brings on Dan Burn.
No.
Go, lovely
No, we get done the counter-attack. What are you going to say?
What are you going to say?
What do you mean?
I just told you the scenario.
No, but that scenario is absolute crap.
No, it's
that scenario wouldn't have happened.
Jay, I'm just trying to paint you a picture about how we could lose the game in a different way based on what. Jay, I'm with you. Don't get angry with me.
No, I am getting angry.
No, don't get angry with me.
You're trying to tell me how I'm going to feel about a situation.
And you'd sit there and go, oh, well done, boys. Glorious failure. We had a right go.
Yeah.
Right go at the post-cup time. Got done in 2 counter-attacks. Fine. Go out in your shield. No way. No way you'd sit there and say that.
I would have sat there and I would have accepted it because I watched
you.
4 bloody tournaments.
I don't believe you.
Of England.
I don't believe
doing
you.
exactly what we did last night.
I don't believe you.
And if we'd gone out with Rashford and Saka on the pitch.
I don't believe you.
And still trying to...
Who would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself? That seems to be the case with the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first Super Bowl was held in 1967. Initially, the halftime show was a display purely for the fans in the stadium, with marching bands, dancers, and American patriotism for all to see. And that's what it was for the first few years. Disney had a go with a few questionable displays in the 1980s, but it wasn't until '93 that we got the first glimpse into the future of halftime shows. Michael Jackson's stellar performance gave NFL execs something to think about. A raft of massive names followed, including Diana Ross, U2, Janet Jackson, who gave us the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction of all time. So how many people are involved? To give you an idea of the scale, Rihanna's 2023 performance included 800 people, and experts reckon it cost $13 million. What's even more impressive than some of the names on the bill every year is the fact they do it for free. The artists know the exposure they'll get from doing the show will rocket them up the charts across the world. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Good morning, 9:33, Monday, July the 20th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out the website for more details. Can we still call it World Cup Breakfast? Anyway, it's a sort of smell of Budweiser in the studio right now. Alex Crook's in. Crookie, morning to you.
Morning, Crookie.
Good morning.
Mate,
How are we?
All well, mate. Missed you. Missed you so much, Alex.
I could tell. I could tell.
You straight off the plane and in here then, because you still got the hat.
I still got the hat. One last outing today, and then it'll be retired, I think. But
when you have such a jolly up, Jeff, you need to get back working to pay for the debt.
Yeah. What, he hasn't spent any of his own money?
He's got to pay off the talkSPORT credit card.
It's been quite the summer.
Yeah, I bet it has. Yeah, brilliant, mate. So what you got to tell us about transfer news then?
Well, I guess we should stick the boot into Gabby about the fact that Morgan Rogers would rather play for Chelsea than stay at Champions League Aston Villa. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth, isn't it?
It is 100% Cookie. I totally agree. But when I look at the finances involved and how Aston Villa had to sell again one of their superstar players to get the money to sort out the books, you can see it from Aston Villa point of view. Like I said earlier, Alex, he's the gaffer's son. I used to be with Martin O'Neill, so did Ashley Young. He played every minute, every game, more or less, under Unai Emery. He would not have wanted to sell Morgan Rogers, but you know the rules better than me. Villa had to create funds, didn't they?
But obviously, not just Rogers, Yuri Tillemans to Manchester United, Luca Digne likely to join PSG.
Clause, that release clause in Tieleman's contract, I don't get it.
And Digne even less than 10 million.
6 million, isn't it? Yeah. I'm hearing, yeah. But I understand both of them going. Manchester United are a bigger club than Aston Villa. I get it. They're in the Champions League now. They're on the up. Lucas Digne is from Paris, I think. I mean, he's French. To get a chance to go to PSG, probably more money. It's a no-brainer for him as well. But I'm sure Aston Villa fans sit there and think, Unai Emery and this the board at Aston Villa, they'll have a plan, mate.
Well, one player they're looking at potentially, we broke this morning on talkSPORT, is Crescencio Somerville. Okay. Roma have got a bid in worth around £40 million. He's got a release clause in his contract on the back of relegation. Would he be a good signing for Aston Villa, a possible Morgan Rogers replacement?
100%. Like, let's talk about Manzambi's coming, hasn't he? And Gomez from Wolves, and then if they get Somerville, but they still need more. Losing 3 players, and we still needed a stronger squad. But I really like Somerville, and Aston Villa haven't got wingers. Sancho's gone. Leon Bailey are trying to get rid of to Hull.
Yeah, Hull potentially.
We need more than one winger, but Somerville will be a great signing, Cookie.
Yeah. Are we going to see a flood of transfers now the window's closed?
It seems
and now the World Cup's done?
Yeah, it seems to be getting busy. Obviously, it's difficult to negotiate deals while players are at the World Cup. And I think actually that was part of the issue with Arsenal. I think they told Aston Villa and Morgan Rogers that they would come in at the end of the World Cup. Maybe not, well, certainly not as high as Chelsea have offered. And Chelsea have seen an opportunity. And that deal happened within hours. Bedat Agbonlahor went to meet the Aston Villa hierarchy. He said, we'll make it easy for you. We'll give you 117 million. That'll be a British record. Looks good on you. Let's just get this deal done. Obviously, Morgan Rogers medical today.
There's talk, isn't there, maybe Aston Villa looking at Nicholas Jackson. Do you think that's sort of like part of the transfer? Well, 117 for him, and you maybe pay over the odds for Jackson.
Yeah, we've seen it before, and I remember when Elliot Anderson went from Newcastle to Forest. Newcastle paid big money for Forest Greek goalkeeper, never to be seen in a Newcastle jersey. So, if not Nicholas Jackson, maybe Garnacho. They've looked at him in the past.
Please, no. I will block off the M6. Please do not bring him to Birmingham. Brilliant. He's banned.
Crookie, great to see you back. Thanks very much indeed, mate.
Good to be here.
Now, swiftly on to boxing. This Saturday, Anthony Joshua starts his comeback as he faces Christian Prenga. So let's look ahead to the big fight now with DAZN.
Big fight build-up on talkSPORT with DAZN. Anthony Joshua's comeback starts this Saturday as he faces Christian Prenga. Watch only on DAZN Saturday Fight Night.
And AJ's been speaking about how he's been preparing for this fight in camp with Usyk.
I wanted to get out of the UK, focus. It's a lot of pressure being at home.
Yeah.
I'm local. My phone number ain't changed. My local gym hasn't changed. And what it was is, I feel the level of focus I need needs to be a camp environment. He's the best in the world, isn't it? So let's go and see what he's doing, what barriers he's breaking down, what boundaries he's pushing, and if I can emulate that in training, I think the results will follow in the ring. I learned a lot though from different trainers, and I've taken a bit from all these trainers that I've been around, which has been good. I've been with so many good trainers, but definitely with these guys, hard work, smart work, but very, very hard work is important. One of my main issues was conditioning. Their conditioning is supreme, and we're not talking about just doing S&C and circuits in the gym for the sake of it. We're talking about boxing conditioning. I've been there for weeks on weeks sometimes. We don't even hit a pad. Sparring, bag work, shadow boxing, like rounds of technical, improving your focus, improving your boxing IQ. It's good, man. I've still got so much room to improve, getting my legs back, getting my mind back in the game. I've got big ambitions in life, but I feel like I need to get back on that frequency where my ambitions are just aligned to boxing, not so many other things. And getting away from home has been one of those things that have been good for me.
And I'm delighted to say joining us now, the president of Matchroom Sports, Barry Hearn. Morning, Barry.
Morning, Barry.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, boys.
Look, lots to talk about. Let's start with AJ. How important is it not just that he wins against Christian Prenga, but he makes a sort of statement victory in terms of style, you know?
Well, I understand it. Look, the big fight that we're all waiting for, obviously, and we don't know where it's going to be yet, but what we do know is that both fighters have signed for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. So in many ways, this fight doesn't matter on the paper because the next fight's already signed. But what we know is Anthony Joshua personally wants to make a statement. He's made some dramatic changes in his life. He's had tragedy that has installed in him a sense of purpose. And he's the most focused, I think, I can honestly say, I've ever seen him. So I wouldn't want to be the other bloke on Saturday night, that's for sure, because AJ's in a mood to exercise some painful routine on him. The fact is, he's motivated. He's chilled and motivated, if that makes sense. He looks a dangerous animal to me.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Barry. You know him better than we do. He's the sort of fighter that I think when I look at him in his fights, he's going to want to put in a performance, isn't he? Yeah, yes, it's about winning and boxers want to win the fights, but he's going to want to put a statement out there so he's on the front of everyone's tongue.
He is living what can only be described as quite a frugal life. I mean, Eddie was with him last week and he phoned me up. He said, "You won't believe it, Dad. AJ's sleeping in a single bed in a tiny room." Now, you know, with a man of the money that AJ's got, it just shows you how he's switched on to give himself that extra go back to basics routine. And Usyk's team, I've spoken to them, they're saying this guy was astonished at their level of work. Well, we were always astonished about AJ's level of work in the gym. Suddenly, we're super astonished about Usyk's. So this, you know, this is a whole new world. It's a complicated mental procedure you're going through. You know, he's had that tragic loss where his two friends died.
Yes.
He's obviously, you know, feeling that in many ways he's been spared by the man upstairs for a bigger purpose, and his biggest purpose is unifying the heavyweight division. And that's, you know, obviously it's a complicated scenario, isn't it? But going back and doing things that he hasn't done before in a different environment with different people, I think has motivated him to say, I can be better. And when you've got a target, you know, the money's nice. Look, the money's great, but he's on another level. He's looking at making a statement, and Saturday he wants to start the process of saying, this is the new me. And it's exciting for boxing fans. You know, it's a time I never thought for sure we'd actually see.
Yeah. Barry, you won't get any sympathy from Gabby when you talk about him sleeping in a tiny room with a single bed, because you haven't seen the hotel that he has to stay in. Look, Barry, just changing tack of sport for a moment or two. Yeah. You're getting involved with Brentwood Town. You can't help yourself, can you?
Look, I'm getting old, Jeff. I'm a bit like AJ. I need a purpose. So, I mean, Brentwood's been good for me as an area. As a company, as you know, Matchroom head office is based in Brentwood, and it's part of parcel of a longer-term plan for the company to involve himself in various projects that hopefully put a little bit back. Brentwood Town is our local football club. We're just going to announce today that we're signing a 5-year deal to secure the shirt sponsorships, and we're going to do loads of other things because the answer is, why not? What else are you going to do with your life, Jeff? You know, I'm not going to sit at home and have a cup of coffee and read the paper, am I? It's just not me. So we're going to get a little bit involved, which may end up being a lot involved because football does that to you. Yeah. I had 19 years at Leyton Orient I shall never, ever forget, but it was an experience that I enjoyed overall. Yeah. And I think involve yourself in community projects. All of us that have done okay should look around and say, okay, how do we help a bit? We sponsor the half marathon at Brentwood, and it's a massive. Next year there'll be 3,000 runners. It does some good. It raises money for good causes, and it, you know, for a company, it shows we care a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with telling people the truth.
Yeah, I think the club's so lucky because there's so many clubs that need help out there as well.
I know.
What you're going to do as well, I read, is that you're going to enhance facilities as well because there's so many more 3G pitches that are needed out there as well.
We've got 3G. We got 3G already. Lovely. So we were quite ahead of the time. But you know, when you go up a division, as you know, there's different criteria. So, you know, go up one division to the National South, you've got to have a 3,000 capacity, and we've only got a 2,000 capacity. Now, last year we averaged 700 or 800 people, but that was double our gate the year before. We're getting some momentum. It's the saying, you know, it's a good day out. You don't charge anyone under 16 if they're with a parent, things like that. So it's what Premier League isn't. It's all based on community, and it's inexpensive fun for the ordinary person to go and watch their local team create local stars. It's only a smaller version of what we've been doing for the last 50 years with the darts and the snooker and the boxing. Yeah, it's take something small and make it big.
Yeah. Which, of course, brings us round the last topic for today. I mean, I miss my summers in Blackpool at the World Match Play, Barry. I'll tell you that.
I'm going tomorrow, Jeff. I'm so excited.
Absolutely brilliant. And already bubbling up nicely. I mean, Luke Littler, he didn't have it all his own way in the first round, did he?
No, Nico Springer's a good player, but this world is a changing place, Jeff. Yeah. It is frightening, the talent that's coming through. I mean, it's scary. Luke Littler is a phenomenon. We all know that. But listen, if you think he's going to have it his own way, think again. The game is so strong in different departments. And you still got some... Gary Anderson is in his 50s. He played out of skin last night, you know. You've still got some great players. Michael Van Gerwen's hanging in there. But these kids that are coming through, and whether it's Sebastian Bielicki from Poland or whether it's Mitchell from Scotland, you know, we are going to be royally entertained. I mean, I'm more excited about the next 5 years than I've enjoyed the last 5.
Brilliant.
And I can't wait to get to Blackpool tomorrow. My day's organised. I create a board meeting so that I got some excuse to go there. and then I get stuck in with the lads on a few beers and an Indian afterwards and watch some brilliant...
Stop it. You're
stuff.
making me so jealous.
I know. Well, come and join us, Jeff.
Love it, Barry. The Winter Gardens, it's hard to beat, you know. Brilliant. Barry, thanks so much, mate.
Thank you, Barry.
Pleasure, mate. Look after yourself, boys. Keep doing a good job.
You too. Thanks, Barry. And that was a look ahead to a number of things, including AJ against Prenga with DAZN. Join DAZN Ultimate for 185 fight nights and 12 pay-per-views every year, including Joshua against Prenga, all included at no extra cost. Buy now at DAZN.com. Coming up, we turn our attention back to the World Cup final as a certain political figure has called it one of the all-time great events. That's next.
Big fight build-up on talkSPORT with DAZN. This Saturday, it's danger before destiny for Anthony Joshua. Joshua versus Prenga, live exclusively on DAZN.
I wasn't overly enamoured with what we were doing anyway. I've spoken freely on this marvellous channel that we're on and, you know, on talkSPORT regularly and said, look, it's not as good as what everyone was making out, I didn't think, you know, and that's nothing against the manager, Thomas Tuchel, nothing at all. It's just that I didn't think, you know, I wasn't thinking we were blowing teams away and we were purring, but we were finding a way, and that's equally fair to say. That's a brilliant thing to have, of course, if you're not playing brilliantly, but you're winning games. Now, that's a great habit. We all know that. So I don't think I was too... I try to give balance to my comments about these things, and I didn't think we were magnificent anyway. There was a lot of talk about this feel, and how the feel was better. I wasn't having that bit. I was going, oh, come on, do me a favour. And I've spoken freely on, I think it was with Simon and Jim about, you know, Gareth's time, and they were sort of suggesting I was supporting him because I'm his mate and all that. I wasn't. I was just going how I think it was. I don't think there's radical change. I had a big debate with Simon about it on their show and said, look, I don't think there's radical change. Simon was saying there is, and he's a master tactician and that's fine, by the way. I've got no problem with people's comments because we're here now talking about it. But I did say on that show...
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
26 grand in your hand, courtesy of talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, good morning. This is World Cup Breakfast. It's 10 minutes away from 10 o'clock, Monday, July the 20th. I'm Jeff Stelling, former England striker Gabby Agbonlahor is with me, and this is it, the final chance today to enter our £26,000 competition. It closes today. In fact, it closes at 6 o'clock this evening. And that's when someone will get the phone call that lands them a whopping 26 grand in cash, tax-free, but you can't win it unless you're in it. Time's running out. All you have to do is to head to talksportwin.com. That's talksportwin.com. Some of the headlines you're waking up to: Kylian Mbappe's become the first player to win the World Cup Golden Boot twice after earning the award for top scorer at the 2026 tournament. Gabby, should goals that are scored in the third and fourth playoff, should they count towards the
No, goals? I feel like you get knocked out, go home. I don't think so at all, Jeff. But his performance in that second half was fantastic. His goals were very good as well. But yeah, it doesn't sit right with me.
No.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying it's always been the case.
Yes, it always
though.
has, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it shouldn't, but the rules have always been there.
Yeah. Championship leader Kimi Antonelli returned to winning ways at the Belgian Grand Prix with victory from pole. At Spa, George Russell failed to finish the race after a bit of a shunt with Lewis Hamilton early doors. Hamilton eventually finished fourth. And Spain are world champions for the first time since 2010 in a game that is being described as a victory for football. But what did President Trump make of the tournament? Well, if we must, let's find out.
I thought FIFA was incredible. There's never been anything like it. Probably in terms of an event, let alone soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. But I thought it was incredible. It was 4 times greater than any FIFA ever held, and it's probably about 5 times actually. They're telling me today.
4 times, 5 times better than anything ever before. Well, you know, I'm not sure. I am sure it's not the best World Cup ever, let alone the best sporting event ever.
People have short memories, don't they? Recent bias. We do it a lot with players, don't we? This player's the best ever. This player's the best ever. You forget that the World Cups before.
Yeah, well, and I get it, because if you're of a certain age, you know, if you're still a young man, young woman, or whatever, you haven't got many things to compare it to. So I get that.
Yes.
Get that completely. Let's head to the phone lines. Have politics been too involved in this World Cup? Carl is a Fulham fan and wants to have his say. Hi, Carl.
Morning, Carl.
Hello. Good morning. Yeah, I just wanted to say about the rugby at the weekend.
Oh, right.
How the political statement by the Argentinian team spilled over into rugby. And I thought it was quite sad.
In what way, mate?
Well, I just think politics shouldn't be part of sport.
Agreed.
They should be, well, how can you say? Sport is a hobby, it's pastime, it's enjoyable, it's an escapism. And I thought it was just really sad.
Yeah. And I get that, but the relationship, obviously, between England and Argentina has, always been very different to sporting relationships with other countries because of events away from the football field.
Well, I mean, rugby, we we respect the other team. I mean, I think the Argentinian rugby team is referred to as the Pumas.
Yeah.
So we don't look, we look at them, we revere them, because obviously historically they've always been a very hard team to beat, good front eight. And we, rugby, we don't have this tribal thing, we don't have segregation. People, you get a ticket for a game, you're just happy to be there. And I just felt, the team, the Argentinian team wearing the 86 kit, where the game was in Santiago, you had, I'd never really seen it before.
No, it's in the timing of it, though, isn't it, Carl? It's in the timing of the game, the fact that the game took place so near to England playing Argentina in a controversial football match. I mean, I've been to Buenos Aires and I found it a wonderfully welcoming place.
Yeah, absolutely. And rugby is, the etiquette, the respect and everything else. but you found Argentinian supporters wearing football tops at a rugby game, and I thought, you don't see that we are a sport where we pride ourselves on, we love the game. Obviously, it's an aggressive game, but it just marred. Politics should never be in sport because it just takes the enjoyment. And I've been a fan for 30 odd years, played, etc. And I love the sport. And it was the first time I sat there and I was really aggrieved,
It doesn't help when what Argentina done in the football and then there's no punishment, and that's why a lot of people were happy Spain won. And we didn't see no flags on the pitch, did we, after the final yesterday? So I agree, politics shouldn't be in sport. I agree, mate.
Carl, thanks very much indeed for the call. Paul also says World Cup 26, politics played a part, but unfortunately corruption more. And Ryan's got a suggestion. Next World Cup, 128 teams. Are there 128 countries? 128 teams, straight knockout, lose and you're gone. And he says, thoughts on that?
No, please. I don't want 64 teams, whatever they're talking about, Jeff. No, too much. But it will happen. We know Infantino will get his way, and that will get him more votes.
Yeah, but 64 teams is one thing. 128 teams. Imagine qualifying.
How many continents would you be playing in?
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But, 64 teams is worrying.
It will happen, mate. It will happen. 100% it will. And what sort of standard are you going to get then, Jeff?
Well, Infantino will give the examples, won't you, of Cape Verde and Curacao and say, look at the benefits. We've got these smaller teams in, these smaller nations in, and they've excelled themselves, which they did.
Yeah,
but you could also point the finger at one or two of the other sides who were there.
I still think, Jeff, the World Cup is the elite. It should be hard to qualify for a World Cup. They're making it easier and easier, aren't they? Yeah. Scotland, look at how they got through. Fantastic for Scotland, beating Denmark. But there's a reason why countries like Scotland took so long to qualify, because it's always hard, isn't it, to get into a World Cup? If they make it easier and easier and easier, you will get San Marino, you will get Faroe Islands, you'll get these teams losing 10-11 in a World Cup game.
Absolutely. Carl talking about the Argentinian rugby there. I've got a text. The Argentinian rugby players thought they were playing football. The football players thought they were playing rugby. I think that's the last word. Sums it up very nicely indeed. Thanks, Gabby. You got a relaxing day ahead?
Yes. We need to think about what we're going to talk about tomorrow, don't we, Jeff? Maybe the future of English football for the next tournament.
We might touch on Villa, I suspect, don't you?
Yes, why not?
Okay. Thanks so much for listening. Stay tuned to talkSPORT all day. Ben Foster's back in the studio a bit later alongside Andy Goldstein on Drive. That's from 4. Alex Crook and Martin Keown coming next. You'll have me and Gabby from 6 tomorrow morning, so set your alarms.
Let's talk Morgan Rogers. Obviously, Middlesbrough will be quite happy as well, Crookie.
Yeah, I think they get 15 million quid there or thereabouts from their sell-on.
Yeah.
This is a move that's come somewhat out of the blue because I felt for the last few weeks the direction of travel was that Morgan Rogers